I'm about to ride it till the wheels fall off. Yeah, I'm about to run the game, I ain't never dropping off. Let's be talking about a bag, put a duffel on the dash. Yeah, I'm really about to swap. Heavy foot up on the gas with it. Trump track with the cash in it. Passionate, long range when I'm passing it. All drive, I ain't stopping unless I'm crashing it. And even that wouldn't stop me from going after it.
Adams has time. Big look, open receiver, and it's Travis Fulgham. Vernon Adams with his second touchdown pass of the season opener.
700th win in franchise history. It's the first franchise in CFL history to reach that mark.
It is a party on the West Coast, a picture-perfect day in Vancouver, a record-setting regular season crowd in BC of over 50,000 fans in attendance for today's Lions home opener against the Calgary Stampeders. BC looking for their first win of the season. Well, Calgary hopes to build on their victory over Hamilton, but before that, some guy named 50 Cent in attendance as well, performing in front of a crowd, but who needs 50 Cent when you have the panel in BC? Gabe Burness alongside Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stegall. It is a party here at BC Place, to say the least. What an incredible atmosphere. And you know what? We've been hyping this game really since week number 1, and the job that the BC Lions have done to bring this to Vancouver and really bring it to the league. And Ches, what does it feel like to be here right now in front of all these fans?
Well, starting just leaving the hotel was a feeling that I have not felt here in a while. You can feel it on the streets. There's people everywhere, and then you walk in and you see this. Exciting for everyone involved. Exciting for the players who, many of these guys might have played in this environment a long time ago, but maybe not so recently.
This is a grassroots beginning. You know, this Amar Dolman's, whole approach is get younger and bring the fans to the game, and he's doing an incredible job of that. And you're going to see it. And you throw a little 50 Cent in there, Milt.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't get any better than this. For a bang for your buck, Amar Dolman's got it going on. BC Lions are about to experience this for the first time this season at home with this crazy crowd.
We flew in early this morning, and we didn't get much rest. And we were tired when we came down here. But once we stepped in this building, our energy levels took a boost. We all just said, can you smell that? This is a Grey Cup atmosphere right here. This is a special night, and it's going to be a special game.
Yeah, we said that too. I mean, we had about 3 hours of sleep at this point, but you look in here, and then you see the energy and the adrenaline just flows through you. Milt, you and I were talking about this when we came over to the stadium today. I mean, this is the largest regular season crowd in BC. It's incredible. But what was your fondest memory and the biggest crowd you remember in a regular season game during your playing days?
Woo, it was Canada in 2007, and I'm not bragging, but it was when I broke the touchdown record. And how many people were there? I'm not sure, but I know they sold out the game, and I didn't get my cut from that game, but that's a different story. But it was a special atmosphere. The Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans, they were so excited. They meant so much to me, and the roar of that crowd was something special. It felt like it was a millionaire. Like I said, I don't know how many was there, but it was something special.
Watching that, Mill, watching you break and set that touchdown record down, did you and Kevin, did you plan that? Because that was a forward bet. It was supposed to be an option.
It was supposed to be an option.
You ran in front. Did you know what you were doing?
Well, Kevin told me he only gets incentive from touchdown passes, so that's why I got in front of him.
Hey, it looks good on you, Milt, and what a great experience that must have been. I'd say it's probably 91. All our home games at the Sky Dome were off the chart because that was Bruce McDonald, Wayne Gretzky, and of course John Candy as our owners. They brought the environment, much like Amar Dolman is doing right here for this football team. A lot of similarities in owners' approach and understanding the crowd and the city and the football team and the fan base and what you need to do. He's got the pulse of this city, and it shows.
Wayne Gretzky and John Candy, McNall, Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, what all those things have in common?
I'm not sure.
Star power, baby. Mine was in Edmonton in 2005. It was a Labor Day rematch between Calgary and Edmonton after the big brawl happened with Ed Hervey and all that. Now, that had nothing to do with me.
That's the helmet?
That was the helmet incident. So nothing to do with me and Star Power, but just everyone to see another brawl.
Honestly, I'm just mad we didn't tee that one up. We had all Mills highlights, but we didn't have that brawl, which we've seen about 100 times to this point. Okay, so let's talk about the game itself and how this crowd may affect it. And Matt, we watched Jake Maier have a very efficient game in week number 1, but now you've got over 50,000 fans cheering against you. We saw what happened in last year's Western semifinal here with him. He has been successful against this team in the past, though. How do you think this may affect him today?
Well, you got to figure John Huffnagel in some capacities pass it down to Dave Dickinson, has passed it down to his quarterback room and saying preparation's got to happen, and you got to be prepared for this, because when I played back here and in this BC place when it opened in 83, 84, I played in here for the first time, and preparation was key, because you can't hear as an opposing quarterback, because this was the loudest and can be the loudest stadium across the league. Bar none. It is something different, and if Jake Maier and his offense aren't able to communicate to each other, life's going to be difficult for him.
Hey, real fast, Mel, you just said it's mad that this is the loudest stadium in the league, and you're right. I think folks don't realize when it's packed, it is the loudest in the league. So that's an advantage if they can pack it.
It reverberates in here, and you can't hear yourself talk.
And you got to find a way, if you're Jake Maier and that offense, not allow this crowd to get in the game. They talk about the 13th man. It will be the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 50,000 men and women screaming. So they have to find a way to come out early and run the ball or throw the ball. But if you allow this defense to come out and make some plays, or VA to come out and make some plays, it's going to be a tough environment.
I was about to say, I'll flip it over and say the only way for Jake to have some success is to stop the big plays from VA, because with this crowd and the energy and the big play that we've seen, the ability we've seen from VA and these guys, that's the biggest thing. If BC gets rolling with this crowd and these playmakers, these conditions, woo!
You know, it was awesome too, just talking to a couple of the players walking in and just their level of energy. They're so excited to play this game in front of all these fans, and we're happy to be here and broadcasting it. Someone else who's always here but is happy to be with us today, it is Farhan Lalji, who's standing by with Alex Hollins.
Alex, first of all, let's start with this crowd. How excited are the guys to play in front of this environment here?
We're excited, man. You got a sold-out crowd, so it's always great to play in front of a sold-out crowd, you know. And, we got the best fans in the league, baby, so we just ready to give them a show.
365 passing yards last week, but you don't get the win. What do you need to do differently to get the W today?
Execute a little bit more. Be more consistent, and, just keep your foot on the gas, in all 3 phases of the game,
For you personally, you've become wide receiver 1 in terms of options for VA. How much are you enjoying that role?
I just try to be the best that I can for this team, so I would just try to get open, just try to be available. So even if I'm not getting the ball, just do my assignment and help the team execute the best way we can possibly to get first down, touchdowns, and wins.
Thanks for this. Have fun.
Thank you.
Party's going on inside, party's going on outside. My goodness, it is rocking in Vancouver today. Last time, by the way, this many fans in attendance at BC Place, September 2011. A picture-perfect day in the city of Vancouver. Absolutely stunning outside and absolutely rocking inside of BC Place. Just around 54,000 fans in attendance today. It is rocking for their home opener. They're all here for the game, but they're also here for the one and only 50 Cent, the Grammy Award winner, bringing down the house.
So seductive. I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa! On the shot, put your hands up. Say what? On that shot, put your hands up. Way in the back, put your hands up. Girl, it's easy to love me. Say what? Would you love me if I was? And what? Would you still have love for me? I would you leave me if I found out I was thugging? Do you believe me when I tell you, you're the one I'm loving. Are you mad cause I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? If so, girl, you're blessed. Do you trust me enough to tell me your dreams? I'm staring at you trying to figure out you got them. If I was there, would you say things to me?
Milton Davis, you're living out your childhood dreams in BC these days. It was LL Cool J last year. It was 50 Cent this year. And I swear, you guys know every single lyric. I can't wait for the Grey Cup when you know every single Jonas Brother lyric as well.
I don't know if that's happened, but it was awesome to look around the crowd and see all different age group, men, women, kids, grandparents, and all of them dancing and singing. That was a cool vibe.
Well, Davis, all I know is BC Lions going to need a new scoreboard because they wore that out. You know, my neck hurts because I was like this the whole time going, oh, my God, this is amazing.
Can you hear a thing, Milt? Like, I can't hear a thing. My ears are completely shot at this point.
But that's how they should be.
Yeah.
That's how they should be. This atmosphere, we should not be able to hear a thing. That's how it should be.
And also to 50, he was not PG. We were all wondering, would he cleans himself? He wasn't. He was exactly what he was. All right. So that was from our vantage point. We loved it, but someone who loves being here each and every game day, that is our Farhan Malji, who is standing by with more on tonight's home opener. Farhan?
Yeah, thanks, Kate. And just some concert reaction because, you know, if you're a visiting coach like Dave Dickinson, you'd probably be annoyed by the delayed warm-up and all the distractions around this. He loved it. Not necessarily the concert. Montana guy, he likes his country, but he just said this is so good for the league. You know, he totally gets it. From his perspective, he's just treating it like an extended weather delay, or better yet, prep for the Grey Cup and a potential longer halftime. The players weren't supposed to be out there. There were a few Lions players that did sneak out and watch. Certainly coaching staff of both teams, Mark Gillum and Mike Benavides and Ryan Phillips, they were all grooving. Not as coordinated as Milt, but they were pretty good nonetheless. VA was not watching. He is focused. He didn't watch last year. He didn't want to watch this year. He wanted to be completely dialed in on what's in front of him. And as for Jake Mayer, he knows that communication with this crowd is going to be a massive thing for him, but he just says, I'm so much more on the same page with my receivers right now than I was at this time a year ago. I think we can handle it.
All right, Farhan, as we can see the BC Lions getting set to take the field right now, and this crowd still has that energy from the 50 Cent concert, which is really great. And just before we get into this game itself and what the BC Lions need to do to get back on track, let's just talk about that delay, Davis. And we've had this before, and obviously it's a massive concert, but for the guys, they were staying back in the locker room. They had warmed up a lot earlier than this. How does this affect them going into today's game, in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't think it does because they were aware of the timing of it. It's funny, Farhan made the comment that the players weren't supposed to be out here. I saw a lot of them guys out here, so we'll see. But look, probably the older guys and whoever felt they can roll with it, we're out here enjoying it. But they have a chance. They understood there'll be a delay, and they'll ramp up now as we get ready.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I would embrace that, you know, because that's fun. And football's fun.
Not a negative, it's a positive. Heck yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd spin that however I needed to in my head and propel it and getting myself ready. Look, the haze in the barn at this point, Kate, you know, that was just frosting on the cake for these guys and took us all there. And I think just set the tone for what's going to be a great game this evening.
Most guys before the game, what do? They listen to music anyway. So they had some hype music. It may not be the music they wanted to listen to, but the beat and everything, the rhythm, they're all hype right now.
You know what? The Lions need the hype, and we don't want to overreact. I know we were talking about the Bombers a lot in week number 2, and you're thinking, okay, it's too early in the season to go there. But when it comes to the BC Lions, I mean, watching that performance against the Toronto Argonauts, there are things with this team that completely need to be cleaned up. And Milt, we were just speaking about it. The first thing I believe is the O-line and a little more protection for VA in this game.
Last year, these BC Lions offensive line, they struggled. They were last in rushing, and I think they were 6th in sacks allowed. And you think about what they did last week. They brought in William Please stand back. He only had 35 yards rushing, and they gave up 6 sacks. So Farhan talked about VA is focused. Well, the people who need to be focused is that offensive line. They have to control this line of scrimmage. That will give them a great opportunity to win this game.
It doesn't get any easier for the BC Lions because they got changes up front. Couture went down. He's got a back problem, so Packer starts for him at center. And they got Neville's down, and so they got Schumacher playing left guard. So if you think they're going to shore it up, there's some question marks right there. And your point about stand back, controlling the line of scrimmage and giving VA an opportunity to establish that and those big guys an opportunity to tee up, that's huge because you got 2 changes up front in week 2, and guarantee it, they saw what happened to Winnipeg here in the West. They know that they're down, and Winnipeg's down 0-2, and they're staring 0-2 in the face right now, and they don't want want to be there.
Hey, one of those offensive linemen just bumped into you.
Covington nearly ran you over, by the way, right there, Matt.
Yeah, that was for his old man, because he did that a lot back in the day.
He did. I did notice he came real close to you. He sideswiped me and hit you.
He kind of went low, too.
Yeah, he did.
Look, one of the things I noticed last week, and it's the style of quarterback VA is. So fortunately for him, when there is pressure, he can buy time and get the ball downfield. And you saw the distance, yards per pass last week. We thought they had a down week. They were #1 in the league, yards per pass attempt at 10 yards a play. So that's with them struggling, having issues with their offensive line. If they're clean up front, I mean, what are they going to do now? So, and also look at stylistically, Calgary and Brett Monson, they're a defense that doesn't blitz a lot. They like to drop into coverage. They rush forward. They like to try to keep it top down, what you call top down, umbrella coverage. We'll see if they mix that up with the change to the front of the offensive line for the Lions. Let's see if Monson brings a little more pressure from the secondary and the linebacker core, brings a little more pressure as to mix it up.
Yeah, you just watch the center and the left guard in today's ball game. That'll set the tone. No doubt VA's DNA is to push the ball down the field, but I tell you, week 2, communication's critical. You talk about the fans being a part of it. Just communicating up front for the BC Lions offensive line is going to be huge for this football
game. And you know
game.
that Jake Mayer wants this one too, especially what happened obviously in the Western semifinal. And he was really efficient last week. He was 21 of 26. He had 252. He had a pair of TDs, a very clean game, Ches, and he'll be looking for more of that today.
He was dealing. I mean, that's the Jake that they expected and they wanted. I don't know what happened in the offseason. The only thing I heard about him in the offseason that he got in better shape and he felt better athletically. Did you see something, Maddie, with that? Obviously, that's not going to change him as a quarterback, but did you see something in him in his reads as quarterback? That might help.
Yeah, you know, Davis, to your question, it just blows my mind why a football player would come and play out of shape, you know, and to me, good for Jake Mayer.
I've done it.
Hey, good.
I'll tell you off camera.
Good on Jake for, you know, getting it together, and it showed last week, and if we can see more of that over the next 17 weeks. Like you said, that's who they expected. That's the guy that made Bo Levi Mitchell expendable, and they got a good dose of it last week. They're going to need him, and that guy right there, Digit Mills, to get off tonight.
It was a balanced attack. It was about Jake Mayer played great, but when you have a great running game like that, it takes so much pressure off the quarterback. You don't have to go out there and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns when you have a running back running the ball for almost 90 yards. So offensive line did a great job. Jake Mayer did a great job, but the key to being great is consistency. Let's see if he can come back and do it again this second
I don't know about you guys. This feels like a playoff game.
Yeah,
I know, and I'm not. He's got the atmosphere.
Because you're here, Kate.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's because we're all here because we've got 50 Cent in the house probably, so I'm sure he's going to stay and watch the game. It's a packed house. We've got nearly 54,000 people in attendance, and barely anyone has left, by the way. More coming up right after this.
Battle here in Vancouver as the 1-0 Stampeders roll in to face the 0-1 BC Lions. Almost 54,000 in the house for a game that you can say we've been patiently waiting for. 50 Cent and the BC Lions home opener. Calgary, a tidy victory at home last week against Hamilton. BC going out on the road, coming back with a loss, despite pretty good game from Vernon Adams.
Mr. 50 put on a show, didn't he?
Oh, he was good.
It was good. It was outstanding. Yeah, Vernon Adams in week 1 threw for over 300 yards versus Toronto, but didn't get the win. Jake Mayer, on the other hand, threw for less than 300 yards, but he didn't turn the ball over, and he did get the win. If you'd ask both these quarterbacks which one of those they prefer, they'll both tell you they want the W.
First game on the road for Dave Dickinson this year, 3-6 on the road last year. Only team to go wire to wire with the win in week 1 of the CFL season. And on the other side with Rick Campbell is BC Lions, 3-1, including the playoffs last year, that West semifinal. 41-30. They have won their last 2 home openers as well, losing last week out in Toronto. And boy, BC with this crowd, they'd love to have a great start here, wouldn't they, Suits?
And both coaches grooving to 50 Cent, and that was quite the concert. Well, love watching the different age groups, men and women, as Matt said before the game, dancing and grooving to that concert. Outstanding. It's a packed house, and yeah, you know, the BC Lions, to me, have to try not to get in their own heads here, not try to do too much. Just play the game, let it come to you. Vernon Adams did not come out and take a look at the concert. He stayed in there locked in. Some of the players did on both sides. And both coaches were out there.
You had to.
Now, I don't know if you want to watch both these coaches dance, but there were some guys out there having some fun. Hey, it's a big night. They are out in front of the stadium at 10 this morning. They were out there partying and then brought it straight in here inside BC Place. So the guys are loose. They're going to have some fun, and I think we're going to see a good football game between 2 Western rivals here tonight.
I think we should have had a camera up here in the booth on you, Mr. Sooner. And this guy was soaking it all up. He was absolutely loving it. I thought you had a pretty good time, and in honor of 50 Cent, all I can say, if I didn't smell so good, would you still want to hug me, Suits? Excited for this ball game, though. Good. You know, we said early in the season, but it's big. If Calgary could go up 2-0 to start the year and leave BC and Winnipeg both at 0-2, I know there's a lot of football left to be played, but that's a pretty good start to the season for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, and Vernon Adams wants to get rid of those turnovers. That's what happened in Toronto. They played a very good first half, had a lead in that football game, and then the turnovers happened and it turned. On the other hand, the Calgary Stampeders played a clean game.
Yeah.
One of I think Jake Mayer's best games over the last couple of years, and against his good friend Bo Levi Mitchell and former starter in Calgary, he won that matchup. Can he win this one tonight?
A big spotlight on Bo in that one. Jake managed to get it done. Big spotlight on BC and the Lions and the atmosphere here. Can Jake get that done again tonight? And you mentioned the turnovers, a clean game. When you look at turnovers and sacks allowed last week, BC Lions at 11, the Calgary Stampeders combined just at 1. So pretty drastic differences for the opening week of the season for these two teams. But you throw it all out now as we get set in front of a packed house at BC Place. And I have to tell you, just walking down from the hotel, I could barely get inside the building with the crowd that was outside this afternoon. It was outstanding. It was great to see.
Early in the morning. Now let's see how the Calgary Stampeders, especially offensively, how do they handle this crowd noise? Because it's going to be loud. You can stand right beside each other in this stadium because it hits the roof and comes right back to the field and not hear yourself.
See what those challenges are like for Dave Dickinson's quarterback. Jake Mayer, a lot of weapons to get that ball to. Added Cam Eccles to the mix. Mark and Michelle and Eccles both left the game last week against Hamilton, but both are good to go. They are in the lineup today, along with Reggie Begelton, Jalen Philpott, who had just a couple of catches last week, and Clark Barnes, who actually had a really nice game. He had 6 catches for over 60 yards and a touchdown to open up the season as well. High expectations for the BC Lions this season, and a big crowd to get them started in this ball game. Sold out BC Place for regular season CFL action on a Saturday afternoon, and Paredes will get us underway. Terry Williams waits, takes it just inside the 15. Williams back to the 30, spins ahead and taken down just shy of the 40, and that's where we get a look at Vernon Adams Jr.
Well, week 1, the numbers 76% completion percentage for Vernon Adams, 363 yards. That's the mark, the 300-yard mark, and he was well over it. However, the interception, couple of fumbles, couple of turnovers, that's what cost them the game in week 1.
starting here on their own 40. Stand back out into the slot to the left. Puncher coming. Adams gets it away just in time. It's a completion for a short pickup to Alexander Hollins. Let's take a look at Hollins and the rest of this offense for BC.
Protection, a bit of an issue against the Toronto Argonauts for the BC Lions. So 2 changes up front. 1 due to injury. Michael Couture is out. Tyler Packer starts his first game in the CFL at center. And Chris Schluger will play for David Neville. Performance issue there, and they're going to go with a different guard. And the leader for the BC Lions in the receiving corps was Justin McInnes in week 1.
103 yards for McInnes. Look at the pressure here from Calgary. VA on the run, out to his left, makes the throw. Falls incomplete, but Vernon Adams Jr. under heavy pressure on that first possession from the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, I think our panel mentioned this, and we're wondering if Calgary would send some more pressure. See Micah Otway, number 7, coming off the edge. And they load it up down the middle, and they get Vernon Adams on the run. And going that way, awful tough to throw back against the grain and get it down the field where he wanted it.
Flintoft called in to action here early. He's going to drop that down right at the 15. Taken by Brooks, broke 1 tackle after a 52-yard kick. Takes that return just shy of the Calgary 30.
Flags flying here late after the whistle. The players are feeling the energy.
Hard not to.
Yeah,
hard not to.
You're right there.
Jake Mayer over 80% completion.
15-yard misconduct penalty. BC number 47. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Kyle Nelson gets flagged with the 15-yarder, and that will move Calgary up outside their own 40. Let's get a look at it.
He's at the bottom of that pile, and then he's pulls down one of the stamps. That's where the flag came out.
Good field position to start the ball game for the visitors. 3 options out to the left for Jake Mayer. They've got a first down up near midfield as they go to their running back, Dedrick Mills, for the first time today. A big part of this offense.
Yeah, some interesting matchups on the offensive line. Bryce Bell and Zach Williams in the interior up against Josh Banks and Christian Covington. We're going to watch that matchup, the interior of that O-line versus the D-line in BC. Mark Michelle, you mentioned it off the top. He got hit in the head in that game in week 1, but is cleared medically and good to go tonight.
The safety of the Ticats, Katsatonis, caught him pretty good, but he's back out there and ready to roll against the Lions. So hand it off again. Quick little spin move. But the tackle made on Mills by Josh Woods, the center of this Lions defense.
Big offseason acquisition. Pete Robertson off the edge to replace Matthew Betts at rush end. He led the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year in sacks. Ben Hladek moves to the will linebacker. Did play in the middle. Josh Woods was playing so well, they wanted to get them both on the field. And one last second change. Deontay Evans, the veteran halfback, is out. And Ronald Kent will play for him. First game.
Out of Central Michigan is Ronald Kent. 2nd and 7 for Jake Mayer at midfield. Tried to stay in the pocket. Now he's in trouble and he'll be taken down from behind. Pete Robertson gets there. First sack of the season for Pete.
One-on-one outside on Deontay Demeray.
Demeray seemed like he was holding on to him as long as he could without taking a penalty, and finally said, gotta let him go.
And trying to run him past Jake Mayer.
Defense is stepping up early in this one. Williams takes it just inside the 20. And Williams, after a 41-yard kick, takes it back out just shy of the 30 as we start to get settled in here. The former Rider now with the BC Lions, Pete Robertson, introducing himself to Jake Mayer.
Last 5 starts for Vernon Adams against Jake Mayer. He is 3-2 in those games. Last week got off to a real good start against Toronto. He's accumulating the yardage, got through a couple of touchdown passes. And then we mentioned the turnovers that cost him the game in the second half.
Under fire a bit last week and under fire again here early in this one. Gets it into the hands of Hollins, puts on the brakes. Dozier comes over, gets the help from Judge, and they are able to wrap him up. Let's take a look at this Calgary Stampeders defense.
84 games in the CFL for Julian Hauser, and it's his second year in Calgary. That defensive line did not register a sack in game one, and there's the nominee for outstanding Canadian for the Calgary Stampeders in Cameron Judge. And looking back in that secondary, DeMario Houston, the offseason acquisition, got his first interception in week one.
7 interceptions last year with the Bombers. Off to a good start with his new club. Calgary's going to bring some pressure again. VA trying to escape, throws it away and avoids the sack. Dozier had him wrapped up, but VA was able to stay up on one foot and let that ball fly.
Dozier, wait to the left of your screens, coming off the edge. He's going to be clean. So VA knows he either has to make him miss, which he almost did, or get rid of the ball in time. Can't block them all up if you send that many. Brent Monson getting a little aggressive defensively in these first 2 series.
He is not messing around, is he? Brooks waits, takes it cleanly at the 40, 44-yard kick returned to the 45. Jake Mayer will have the ball coming off a really nice victory in week one for the Calgary Stampeders quarterback in his second full season as the man at the helm. A big opportunity this season for that man, Dedrick Mills, with Kadeem Carey moving on. More carries for Mills.
And I thought it was good the way they stuck with him in week one. You know, sometimes you get tempted to try and, if you're behind on the scoreboard or the opposition puts one in the end zone, you want to come back throwing it, but pretty consistent. 13 touches, 87 yards rushing, nice fat 6.7-yard average.
They've got B.J. Emmons in the game right now, and he has nowhere to go, maybe half a yard on the play. They worked him in a little bit last week as well. He had 5 carries last week, so did not hesitate to mix in number 28.
Yeah, 5 for 23, so if you give those 5 to Dedrick Mills, he's got his 100-yard game.
Yeah.
But he will.
Surprised us a little bit in that game against Hamilton. They were giving Emmons some work late in that fourth quarter. Mills is back in there now, standing to the left of his quarterback. Now he'll flare out into the flat. They'll come right over the middle. Completion there to Tucker, and he pushes ahead for a first down and onto the BC Lions side of the field.
It's going to be the second receiver inside, and will be that crossing route. It's his own look from the BC defense on the crosser, and then knows exactly where the first down stick is.
Fresh set from that BC 54. We'll hand it back off. Nice tackle there. Mills had some daylight, didn't he? Hladek held on for dear life.
Yeah, they moved Ben Hladek from the middle to the will linebacker, try and get both he and Josh Woods on the field because of the way Josh Woods played last year. And this is a good tackle. He's hanging on because Mills gets the corner there. Might be still running. It'll be a foot race with DBs. 10 tackles in week one for Hladek.
101 tackles last season for the former UBC Thunderbird. Back on the ground again. Some moves there for Philpott, and he's got a first down as they mix Philpott into the running game, and he'll take him down to the 40.
Like it was Manny Ricumba that had a shot at him, and he puts on some nice shake and bake move right coming through the line of scrimmage. Line him up in the backfield like a second back, almost split back formation. Great move right there. It was Manny Ricumba. got up going, what happened? I had him. I saw him. I had the 2 and the 6, or the 8 and the 5 lined up.
Certainly another way to utilize Philpott. 1st and 10 from the Lions 40. Back to Mills. Mills lowers the shoulder and gets about 3, maybe 4 yards on that first down carry.
Yeah, the guys talked about it before the game, and just the difference in Jake Maier. When we talked to him this week leading up to this game, he said, you know what I noticed, and he agreed, was when something bad happened, they bounced back immediately. Something they didn't do well last year. Either the opposition scoring or a mistake made by their team. Bounce back. What happens the very next play?
They need 6 yards here. Maier with time. Now down the field. Markin Michel has it. Puts on the brakes at the 15. Trying to push ahead. And he'll take it down to the 10. And the Calgary Stampeders inside the red zone for the first time today.
How about that laser from Jake Maier? I mean, that was a timing throw and wanted to hit Markin Michel just as he came out of his break. And that's exactly the timing you're looking for. That's a laser right to him. He turns around and catches it in self-defense. And then turns out of his break, man, right on his shoulder.
Calgary Stampeders offense, 32 points, 2nd most in the league, trying to pick up where they left off. 1st and goal from the Lion 10. Maier looks to the far side, has a completion and a touchdown. Back to Markin Michel, and the Stampeders go on top.
Nice drive, good balance, got the running game going. Way to get Jalen Philpott involved in the offense early on in this drive with a little bit of a run to get across midfield. And let's take a look at the touchdown coming from the right of your screen. A bunch formation, and Markin Michel comes underneath it. Offense calls that rubs. Defense calls it picks, which are illegal. Offense wins, no flags.
3rd passing touchdown of the season for Jake Maier. And the Stampeders have to be feeling pretty good about their start here. Paredes steps up and knocks it home, no problem. 8 plays, 65 yards in just over 4 minutes. Markin Michel gets it done. Love it or hate it, the underdogs are on top.
Touchdown by Markin Michel, and I stand corrected. Not really a bunch formation, trips formation where it acts like a bunch with Michel, that wide receiver, and then coming underneath the rubs from Reggie Begelton and from Clark. They go up the field looking like they may even block. They don't. They run right past, and that takes the attention of all 3 defenders. Markin Michel underneath.
Well, he's all right after leaving the game in week 1. He's back. He's on the board. First touchdown of the season. He had 3 last year. Terry Williams for a bit of runway here, and Williams will take it out to the 40-yard line where Vernon Adams Jr. will get the ball.
Just well-timed play to take the attention. And you know, when you got Reggie Begelton over there, the defenders are going to make note of that. Nice drive. I like the balance in it, too. A little run game.
Exactly what we saw from their offense against Hamilton. Right?
Absolutely. It's fun to score.
It's an injured Calgary Stampeder down at the 40 being looked at right now. I believe that's Thomas, 23-year-old, played junior football with the Okanagan Sun. Let's take a look at the injury here.
I believe that is him right out on the outside. Collision there. Oh, and then falls in the back of the legs of his teammates. A little friendly fire.
Tried to get up.
Yeah.
But could not. Thibaut Dubaye, who he had collided into, also a little stunned there, but Thomas is up and walking off on his own, so that's good to see.
Yeah, he head to the sideline for a full assessment before being allowed to return to the field.
So Adams will get the ball back here on the offense for the BC Lions, now trailing 7-0. Alexander Hollins at the top of your screen for Adams. So give it to Stanback. Stanback tripped up just outside the 40. We'll get almost 3 yards on that first down carry.
Well, you give it to Stanback, you settle in your O-line, but you also maybe take a look at the blitz formations that Vernon Adams been seeing. He came out slinging it in the first couple of series, and Brent Monson, the defensive coordinator for Calgary, just sent the heat. Tons of blitz, which got him off his spot.
Calgary bringing everybody. Adams gets it away over the middle, and that's incomplete. Defended well. Rodney Randall was there to bat it away, and the BC Lions will leave the field still looking for their first down of this ball game.
Yeah, pressure coming. You're going to see Cameron Judge off the edge. They're going to throw Alway in there on a delayed blitz as well. He goes down the middle. Now you've got basically full blitz. You can't block them all, and they're just going to have to try to keep patient. I'm talking about the Lions offense here, because the plays will be there to make down the field against a blitz. But sometimes you have to take a few hits to get there.
Flintoff just gets it away. Brooks has to backpedal all the way inside his 15. Puts on the brakes after a 54-yard kick. Lions cover team down the field. Mackey, among others, in on the tag. A little bit more on the offseason of that man, Jake Mayer, when we return to BC Place. Well, it was a nice start to the season last week for Jake Mayer. Not only did he get the win, but he did it playing well. 21 of 26. That's over 80%, 252 yards, couple of touchdowns, no interceptions. He was absolutely outstanding in his first game of the season. For more on that, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Dusty, one of the things we also saw last week is a more spry version of Jake Mayer. He is running more, trying to extend plays, something he didn't do last year, and that has come hat in hand with weight loss and a new training regimen. And what he discovered around week 10 of last season was that he had a severe gluten deficiency, and he said to us that he was basically poisoning his body. So he's so thankful that he discovered it. He completely changed his diet, and that's led to him losing 8 to 10 pounds. He's much more lighter, and then in the offseason, he knew he wanted to move around in the pocket better, so he changed his training regimen that way. There was a lot more of speed work, change of direction work, and he even changed how he lifted weights. He did it not necessarily with his heavy weight, but repping them out much more fast and just trying to get that, just how his muscle memory was going to work, just do everything faster. So it all worked hand in hand. He said he's felt as healthy as he ever has at any point in his career going back to high school.
Thought it was pretty noticeable last week, really.
I did too, yeah, I agree. And sometimes it's not about running and taking off and running for a first down. It's sometimes just negotiating the pocket, but having quick feet while you do it. And I noticed that in game one for Jake Mayer for sure.
I wish I could get back to my high school weight.
Little jump in your step. You can get jump in your step. You know who can train you? Milt Stiegel can train you. He's here. He's in the house.
I don't think I got the energy for that. There's a completion to the running back, B.J. Emmons, but it will not be enough. And Calgary will be forced to kick this away from relatively deep in their own territory.
Yeah, when a team like you're at home, your offense getting the ball back from Vernon Adams for the BC Lions, and Calgary sending a lot of blitz on passing downs. It does two things. It can fill the gaps against the run, but it also puts pressure in a hit and miss situation for Vernon Adams.
Another tackle for Hladek. That's his third of the ball game. Cody Grace averaging almost 52 yards per punt last week. Hangs this one up there, drops it right down at the 40. And Williams, not much room there on a return. There's a flag at the 40.
I wonder if that's no yards, and that could be a 15-yarder.
Don't miss the return of the global phenomenon critics call thrilling and endlessly captivating. HBO's House of the Dragon. The new season streams June 16th, only on Crave. That's just one sleep away before the return of the House of the Dragon. Ball sits at midfield. Best starting field position in this ball game for the Lions, who are still trying to pick up their first down with just over 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Stanback stands in behind his quarterback. Now up to the right. VA looks to his left, throws to his left, has Katoy, and that will be enough for a first down, and maybe that gets the BC Lions going.
Calgary dropped out and played his own, showed the blitz this time, and then dropped out of it. There's a late flag.
It looks like it's against BC.
15-yard misconduct penalty, BC number 65. After the play, it'll be a first down.
Wow. Now, they were the least penalized team last week. Just 5 penalties for the Lions last week.
And Suk Jung just basically nodding there at one of his teammates. Said, just forget about that one. You got to flush it and move on. Not sure what he did or said. We're looking for it.
Back it up. Work from the 54. Options out to the right for Adams. More pressure coming.
Wow.
He's in trouble again. Oh, somehow he escapes it. Adams is going to get to midfield. Now the 50 with a slide. Oh, Vernon Adams Jr. escaping many men as he turned the corner and picks up a first down.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to beat the blitz for a quarterback. One is to get rid of it before the pressure gets there. The other is to do what Vernon Adams. Now, not all of them can do it like this, but that's an outstanding move because he did a blind turn initially and ran right into the arms of, I believe it was Micah Awe, and then had to make a quick move underneath to get away from that tackle, and away he goes to move the chains.
Marked him down just inside the 50. Stanback, contact, pushing ahead, didn't matter. Eventually tackled by James Vaughters, but paid the price along the way, didn't he?
Well, he's getting closer to 2 years ago when I called William Stanback the Hammer. He keeps running like that. Good contact both ways. Defensively coming up and filling that hole right there, and then Stanback still churning for a couple more.
Give him 7. 2nd and 3. Now they'll toss it out to Stanback. Looking for a first down. Tracked down from behind, but not before he gets it. Alway on the tackle.
Got the speed. He can play both types of games. William Stanback can play the physical game between the tackles, and he's got the speed outside to outrun angles. Boy, Alway doesn't quit, though, does he? Catch him from behind.
That engine just keeps going,
keeps
doesn't
on
it?
going.
Final play, opening quarter. BC finally finding some momentum. High snap, controlled, handed off. And Stanback will push ahead down towards the 30. Decent pickup on first down there for the BC Lions, who try to answer the Calgary Stampeders first quarter as Jake Mayer able to find Markin Michel for the only score of the ball game, and the visitors on top. They lead 7-0 with 15 minutes in the books. The 1-0 Calgary Stampeders leading 7-0 after the first quarter. 64 passing yards for Jake Mayer. He's 5 for 5. Not as easy maybe on the other side for VA so far.
Well, VA is having to deal with the Calgary blitz all of a sudden, something they probably didn't see a lot of in that game film from last week for Calgary. So that blitz coming. Good news, bad news for Vernon Adams. Bad news is he won't be as accurate because he's got that pressure coming down. He might have to escape like he did to start this drive. The good news is he's got man-to-man coverage in the back end. When a team blitzes you, you pretty much have to play man-to-man defense with your DBs. That means you can get a guy behind coverage and make the big play down the field.
Are you predicting an Alexander Holland touchdown? I think that's what you just sort of subliminally did. We'll see a sneaky guy over here in the booth. 2nd and 4. Got to keep the drive alive here. Pressure again. VA gets it away, and it looks like Kobe Williams got there a little bit early, and the flag flies on the far side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be pass interference. That was early contact on the targeted receiver, Hollins.
Pass interference, Calgary number 13. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Last thing you want to do is give the Lions any more help. Adams in his face again, gets it away. It's Hollins, and it gets hauled down this time by DeMario Houston. But BC in the red zone for the first time all season.
One of the things that Vernon Adams doesn't get a lot of credit for is how he can throw around the rush and find and create his own throwing lane. I mean, he gets back here, he crouches down, he's got the pressure coming, and he sidearms it around Cameron Judge.
Change of the arm angle there for Vernon Adams. And BC looking to equalize here as they work first and goal from the Calgary 8. Adams on the run, out to his right, looks to the end zone, wide open, got it! Touchdown BC, flag on the field as McInnes hauls it in.
Looked like the flag may have been away from...
Illegal contact.
Yeah.
Calgary number 31. That penalty be declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Tom Valesi call that quickly and let the 54,000 enjoy a touchdown throw.
Second touchdown of the season for McInnes.
And you bet the Calgary Stampeders are going to go to the sideline and remind the edge defenders on blitzes, that time it was Micah Alway, that you've got to keep Vernon Adams in the pocket.
Tipped at the line, and now Brooks will be wrapped up by Tehema. Calgary Stampeders keeping that extra point off the board. Adams, look at that, elusive Alway chasing him down, couldn't get there. McInnes hauls it in.
The blitzer on that touchdown was Micah Alway for the Calgary defense, and Vernon Adams made him miss. Always coming off the edge and takes an angle like that. If he goes up the field and then redirects, he keeps Vernon Adams in the pocket. Watch 7 come off the edge. He goes down in a little bit too shallow. That allows Vernon Adams to bounce, and when he bounces, he finds a wide open Justin McInnes.
He can do a lot of damage when he gets out on the run, can't he? Calgary still leads 7-6. This is taken by Emmons on the return. Broke one tackle. Knocked down just outside of the 30. His first return of the season.
See why he made the team.
And they can move him around a little bit, right?
Runs hard. And can be a returner as well as spelling Dedrick Mills.
6 feet, 224. Thick guy, 26 years old. BJ Emmons.
Got to make it on the teams. You can play well on the teams. That's how you can graduate to the starting O or D.
Give Adrian Green a special teams tackle. Jake Mayer with the lead of the ball. Takes the handoff. They're going to move him over to his left. Looking down the field. Nothing just yet. And he will be taken down at the 30. Rugamba came flying in there.
Jordan Perryman, the corner down at the right in front of the boat.
Illegal contact. BC number 24. 10-yard penalty. Result will be a first down.
That's Patrice Rene. He's away from the play. I was going to say Perriman was in great coverage. That's why Jake Maier didn't have a target down the field. He wanted Clark Barnes, but a little illegal contact. That's a 10-yarder and an automatic first down.
Great start to the season last week for Rene. 4 tackles, couple special teams tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Takes a penalty there, though. Calgary from their own 45 there. One's up for grabs, trying to slide under it. It's Haletic. They're going to blow him down, but an interception for the BC Lions on a ball that bounces off the hands of a Stampeder, and Haletic gets his hands on it. Defense coming up big. Maier off the hands of Mills into the hands of the former UBC Thunderbird.
Ben Haletic, the first Canadian in BC Lion history to record over 100 tackles last year. Also contributed with 5 interceptions on the season. And this is a tip. Looked like Jake Maier almost aimed that one. It's a high percentage throw, but it looked like he aimed it a little bit high off the hands of Mills. Haletic with the tip drill and the team photo.
Jake Maier had gone 5 games in a row going back to last season without throwing an interception. Streak over. BC only had 4 yards in their first 3 drives, 55 on their last. Looking for a big chunk here down the sideline. A discussion
They're talking about
by the officials. Did Hollins pull that in? That would have been spectacular if he got that in time.
I think they're marking it as a catch.
Looks like they are. Let's get a look at it.
This would be challengeable. You see Mike Alway picked up on the blocking schemes. Boy, that was quick.
Challenge flag is on the field.
Calgary is challenging the ruling of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
Both teams on the same side of the field, their benches. That happened right in front of BC's bench, but Dave Dickinson, who stands right on that white line coaching, looked right down the line.
First challenge of the season for Dickinson. Here's a look at it. Is this a catch?
I don't think so.
Commence.
Taking a long look at this one. It might not be as obvious as we thought it was on that first replay.
How many times have they run that back? Hey,
Yeah.
Trying to get a look at it. Let's get another look ourselves here.
Well, there's the catch. Looks like they're going to move it back. The catch and then the drag of that left toe, but the right foot came down on the white stripe.
Close call either way, but let's send it down to the field for the official announcement.
After review by the command center, the call on the field is overturned. It's an incomplete pass. He's second down.
Well, good challenge by Dave Dickinson. It takes BC out of field goal range. First down again, but catch, left foot off the turf, right foot on the sideline. Got it right.
That's why they get all those looks at it, isn't it? Got to get it right. The challenge for Dickinson pays off. And Adams will try to just get it all back here. VA in the pocket. That's exactly what he's going to do down the field. And that is incomplete. Never really a shot at it that time as he tried to go back to Hollins again. 3rd and 10.
Well, this time, though, a different route. Hollins ran an out route on the last one. This one is a corner. And as he comes out of his break, he sort of gears down a little bit, then realizes the ball's been thrown and is about 1.5 yards, 2 yards behind him. We'll have a little discussion, get on the same page.
Flintoff hangs this one way up there. He's going to bounce inside the 5, all the way into the end zone. 52-yard kick from Flintoff. And Brooks will take a knee. in the end zone.
Jake Mayer has a lot of targets. We've seen Markin Michelle get involved early on. Not a catch for Reggie Bigleton yet. And the guy that stepped up last week against Hamilton was Clark Barnes, who had himself a very nice game with 61 yards, 6 catches, including that touchdown. Get Jalen Philpott, Clark Barnes, and all of a sudden that's a pretty nice Canadian contingent.
Oh yeah,
in the receiving corps.
Yeah, they got to be happy with that, and they're all young guys that they're going to continue to bring along together. Starting on the 40 here, Mayer, quick fake. Now he'll take it on the far side of the field. Lucas Robertson with his first CFL catch will go for a first down. Played his college ball at UBC here in Vancouver, and he's got a catch.
Where did Josh Woods come from to make that tackle? I mean, this was the check down. I think that Jake Mayer wanted more. He wanted something down the field. Didn't have it. Coverage was there, so he checks it down. And I think Josh Woods covered the entire field to get there. From the right of your screen.
Robertson's a big man, 6'4", 253. Drafted 69th back in 2023, went back to UBC for one more year, and now finds himself as a rookie in the Canadian Football League. Mayer dumps it off over the top, and a lot of room to work with here for Evans. Nice move, makes one man miss, bounces off another, still going all the way down to the 35. B.J. Evans delivering some blows along the way.
This field is 65 yards wide. You get a good, talented tailback out in the open field. It is almost impossible to bring him down without help. One-on-one. Watch this move. Just that hard plant with the left foot and the turf back inside. Takes on the contact. That's a pretty run right there. Runs hard.
First and 10 from the BC 35. Out into the flat, this time to Dedrick Mills. Mills is going to push it ahead. Mills has a first down and more. And the 1-2 punch it running back for the Calgary Stampeders, walking all over the Lions on this drive.
Well, yeah, 1-2, and we'll go 3 with fullback Lucas Robertson catching that one. So the backs getting involved here, and what does the BC Lions do to counter this as they get out of their zone look? Because that was a zone where everyone was blocked up. Look at the blocking downfield by the receivers. Philpott, Markin Michelle getting a hat on the DBs to give Mills a lane.
Game tied at 7. Calgary inside the red zone. Working from the BC 18. Mayer wide open. Philpott wrapped up immediately and taken down. That'll bring up second in mid-range.
Trips into the boundary. Well, you see it more and more with the hash marks moved closer into the middle. A couple of years ago.
They're trying to work quickly in this crowd. BC doing their best as the play clock ticks down. They'll get it. Oh, we got whistles going.
I think they got it called.
Timeout, Calgary.
Calgary calls the timeout.
Had to burn it.
BC will get some fresh bodies out onto the field, bringing out 4 new defensive linemen. Loud in here, isn't it?
I thought Mr. 50 could probably be a rush end.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think so. I think 50 Cent works out.
He's carrying around those chains.
That's why. That's why his neck looks so strong.
Great concert, tons of fun.
That was a good show.
It really was.
Where'd he go?
I'm a country music guy.
I know
I'm a country music guy, but that was fun.
Second and 5. Mills slides over to the right of his quarterback. 3 options out to the left. Mayer looks to the right, now to the left. Now dumps it off right over the middle. Philpott, heavy blow. Close to a first down, though, for the Calgary Stampeders. And he's got it.
This play really puts Ben Haladic on the weak side linebacker spot in a bind, because he's got Philpott on the crossing route on one side of him. That's on the right side of him. And then he had Dedrick Mills on the outside right along the sideline, and he was kind of caught in between them.
First and goal from the BC 7. Here takes the handoff, looks to Mark and Michelle, hauled it in, but thrown down heavily. Manny Rugamba was there to make sure he didn't find the end zone again.
Lots of action right up into the middle, and then you shoot Mark and Michelle out of the right side of the formation. Rugamba, I believe, is the guy who rallies to this tackle. Holds him out of the end zone. You run it here, coach.
Might try to go to back out of the flat here again.
I'm going play action Begelton.
No catches, no targets in the direction of Begelton just yet. They are going to run it, and they're going to run it nowhere. Lions defense steps up. Sione Tehema, among others, close the door on the Stampeders.
Just a wall. Playing with Dedrick Mills, the lone setback. Begelton to the left. They had it set up so that Begelton could have pretended to block and leak into the middle. Seen that before many times, but Calgary decides. Oftentimes that is a ride and decide play where Jake Mayer can either decide to pull it or leave it in there. That looked like a straight handoff, like they were going to run the ball no matter what the defense did.
Paredes 6 for 6 last week. This one a chip shot to put the Calgary Stampeders on top 10-7 with 5:50 remaining here, and a pretty entertaining opening half of football at BC Place in front of over 53,000. Jake Mayer started this game 11 of 12 for 131 yards, touchdown. The only completion that he didn't make work, intercepted by Haladic. That's a happy little fan. Probably the first taste of 50 cent for that little one here tonight, I would hope.
Hence the earphones, just to, you know, muffle it. You don't want to.
The last thing you want is the baby's ears being ruined by fitting.
Well, the beat will move you anyway.
Probably put him to sleep.
The building was shaking.
Adams out to Hollins, cuts it inside and ducks under a couple of oncoming tacklers, and has a first down for the Lions.
Number one targeted receiver in week 1. He's coming out of the backfield along with Justin McInnes. McInnes had the most yards for the Lions. Alexander Hollins had 13 targets in that game.
Hollins is the only receiver for BC so far in this game to have multiple catches. He's got 4. Katoy has 1. McInnes has 1. Right up the middle with Stanback. Ran into Cam Judge after he picked up 4 yards on that first down carry.
Something Rick Campbell really wanted to improve on from last year. A very good football team that went right down to the wire trying to get to a Grey Cup berth. Of course, the Cup will be played here in BC Place, and one of the things that he wanted to do was shore up his defensive line against the run and his offensive line and running game when they had the ball, and that's why they brought in William Stanback.
Stanback's got 23 yards on 5 touches thus far in the game. 2nd and 6 here. Adams downfield, far side. That one off the shoulder of Hollins. Had a step on DeMario Houston and had it bounce off his shoulder pad.
Well, this is a matchup best against best with Alexander Hollins against DeMario Houston. Hollins here, Houston there. Here they go. It's press coverage down the field, and he just runs by, and it's almost like he gets so casual that it bounces off the shoulder. Just a little bit too relaxed. Sometimes when those deep balls are thrown to you, you got time to think about it.
You're just waiting. You're like, well, I got this. And that time, he did not. And Hollins has been so good since arriving here in BC. This one just out of bounds into the hands of Eric Brooks, 41-yard kick. Great crowd here at BC Place. Would absolutely erupt if the Lions defense can make a big play here late in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for Jake Mayer from his own 15. Makes the handoff, turns, takes a look, sees pressure coming, gets it away, and it falls incomplete in front of Mark Michel. This is the second incomplete pass of the ball game for Jake.
That was Thibaut DeBalle that was providing the pressure, who just became the first global to score a touchdown in the Canadian Football League last week against Toronto.
The big Belgium picking up a loose ball and taking it to the house in his 4th year with the Lions.
Looked like you were early movement. Not sure who went first.
Saw Demery move for sure.
Procedure, Calgary number 60. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down. Timer, please hold the clock until the snap.
Often offenses try from when they in the shadow of their own goalpost, so you just sling one deep right down the sideline where only their receiver can get it, or it goes out of bounds, gets them out of a hole in one play. And it gets the ball out of your quarterback's hands relatively quickly.
Mayer will take this snap inside his own 5. Feels the heat. Can't get away. Taken down by the Lions defense.
This is safety zone. That pocket just collapsed on Jake Mayer, and because of the offside early movement procedure penalty and now the sack, just watch how little stunt and cross in the middle, and it just collapsed on him.
Josh Archibald and Marcus Moore both there all over Jake Mayer. The Lions going to get the ball back here.
The panel live on location here at BC Place. We have plenty coming up. We have the pressure on Vernon Adams. BC's response, no 50 cents coming up on the panel, but he did give me one of his chains.
Bling, bling.
It's not his.
I was going to say lucky. Oh, man, very jealous. Terry Williams stands on Calgary's 51 here. Cody Grace standing deep in his own end zone.
Kick it away.
And he is going to kick it away. Williams takes it. 47-yard kick. Covered well, but he takes it back down inside the 50. Earlier, we asked the teams, players, who their favorite 50 Cent song was. Here's some of those answers.
It's Your Birthday.
Candy Shop.
Many Men.
21 Questions.
And the Club's pretty good.
Many Man. Not a lot of rap in Montana, but sports has a way of bringing that together.
Are you sure there's not a lot of rap music in Montana?
Hey, and Coach Dickinson was out watching it too, and he was enjoying it.
I'm with Rick Campbell there. He said a Candy Shop, I think. Here's VA over the middle. He's got McInnes upended inside the 20, immediately into field goal range. And this drive with a big boost to get it going.
Well, field goal range and then some. I mean, number 2 receiver, watch McInnes' route here. He's just going to go right down the seam and get in that soft spot between the outside, the corner, and the safety that's not even in the picture. And a well-thrown ball by Vernon Adams with a great pocket to step up and deliver it.
28 yards to McInnes. He, of course, had the touchdown earlier in the half. There's injured Calgary Stampeder. It is the cornerback, Trey Roberson. But he's up. He's fine running off the field.
I always wonder if quarterbacks are seeing a starting and former all-star corner leave the field. Are they thinking, let's go right over there to the replacement and see how they hold up? Have to wait out 3 plays. Looks like maybe a stinger.
First and 10 from the Calgary 19. Adams turns, hands it off. Stand back. Oh, wow. Baby, nowhere to go as he was taken down. Play was blown down as Dozier picked up that ball anyway.
Yeah, Cam Judge read this, saw it, played the play. No matter what responsibility he had, number 4 just took control on this play. He's got that gap. He shoots it, doesn't worry about the cutback lane. He goes to the right angle and just cuts off any downfield momentum from William Stanback.
Two-yard loss on the play. Adams in the pocket, hit as he throws, looking to the corner. Alexander Hollins to the candy shop for 6, and the Lions go on top for the first time tonight.
Remember the first quarter when Calgary was sending all kinds of blitz, and I mentioned that that's the sort of hit and miss opportunity for a quarterback. You're going to take some hits against the blitz, and certainly Vernon Adams does on this one. But it's also man-to-man down the field. Man-to-man downfield with Alexander Hollins. He wins this one on Dozier and comes back to the ball.
You could see VA was in a little bit of pain there. Obviously, here's that crowd roar. Make him feel a little bit better.
Good hold.
Sean White knocks that one through, and the BC Lions go on top 14-10.
Hollins starts out, trips to the field this time, and he starts out in that inside position running the corner routes. He's got outside leverage on Dozier. So VA needs to just keep it to that outside corner. But first quarter, 3 series in a row, I believe, that pressure got to him and the accuracy was off. That time he took the hit, got up, and he heard the crowd and went, yeah, man. They don't hurt quite as much. They still hurt, but they don't hurt quite as much.
A little bit more if that pass wasn't completed. Adams is 8 of 14, 93 yards, 2 touchdown passes here in the first half, and in front of a sold-out crowd at BC Place. The BC Lions lead 14-10. 1:52 remaining here in the opening half. Emmons takes it again. E.J. Emmons up to the 30. Good burst. Bounces off one tackle and takes it outside the 40.
I'm going to go way out on a limb and say that the future is bright for B.J. Emmons. The future is now for Vernon Adams in this offense. There's the hit. He's got a flak jacket on. Goes around those ribs.
VA is going to be okay. There, hands it off. No time for that play to develop at all whatsoever.
Yeah, this Lions pressure has got there. That last series, pushing them back, forcing the punt from deep in their own end zone. Not necessarily doing anything real exotic, just getting pressure with 4 or 5. Vladeck was one of them. I think Racumba just joined in because he saw the handoff.
Vladeck, though, got it started. Team leading 5th tackle for Vladeck. has an interception in this game as well. Have yourself a first half there. Mayer, pressure on the backside, takes off, running out to his right, has a ton of room, wants to throw it, and now he will down the field. Philpott flying across there, and he's able to haul it in. The patience of Jake Mayer to allow that play to develop pays off in a big way.
Well, Jalen Philpott, who is still, getting up to speed from injuries last year and the early start to this season, he really gives his quarterback a chance, fighting his way from that initial route all the way back to get in the sight line of Jake Mayer. Look out, coming right in your living room.
Now right up the middle on the handoff. Back to Dedrick Mills as Calgary continues to find that mix of passing game and rushing attack.
But that was the mobility of Jake Mayer that's different than last year. What you saw on that last play.
He just looks
full rollout.
He looks so much more comfortable making that play this year, right?
Yeah, a little jump in his step, lost some weight. I don't know about that gluten thing. That's a big deal now. Gluten, you got to be careful with that.
They say, aren't they had a shortage of gluten?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand
I'm not a doctor.
I'll eat everything. Over the middle, that falls incomplete. Mayer that time, a little bit of pressure. Had Eccles, who's been quiet today, coming over the middle, but that play never really develops. 3rd and 4.
So you're okay with gluten?
I think. Yeah. haven't had any issues, I think. I don't know.
You're not checking the bag?
No, not really.
Well, I know it's a real deal for a lot of people, and good that he found it out and a good off-season training.
Grace will punt this away, trying to pin the Lions deep here in the direction of Williams. Drops it inside the 5. Williams wrapped up immediately after a 42-yard kick. Nowhere to go, and the Lions with a lead will be backed way up here with just 35 seconds on the clock in quarter 2.
Well, you got to get in your lane if you're the Calgary cover team. So you make sure you protect first so you don't get a punt blocked. And then get in your lanes, all the lanes filled. And if you're in that second wave, you're looking for the empty lane. That empty lane was filled nicely. Take a look at Vernon Adams in the first half. With that blitz coming, had some trouble with it early, went 2 of 5 for 2 yards, and has slowly started to figure it out on 2nd down and threw the touchdown pass to Alexander Hollins.
Stanback's got 6 carries as well. Had 11 last week, at 6 right now. So on pace for close to the same number. Start on their 5.
And I'm not suggesting
Stanback's got a first down all the way out to the 20.
I'm not suggesting that he didn't recognize what was happening. Vernon Adams knew the blitz was coming. He knew what he had to do with it, but it got there. It's that timing issue. Can you get there before get the ball out of your hands before the free man gets there?
Mario Houston on that tackle with Stanback. Adams looks over the middle. That one up for grabs, and oh my goodness, what a play there. McInnes into coverage, and he comes down with it.
That's just strong hands over the middle, because coverage was right there. You really can't be any closer.
Fun battle tonight between Kobe Williams and Justin McInnes. Multiple flags on the play here, 4 of them down on the field.
That's the first half of Tyler Packer starting at center for the BC Lions on offense.
Procedure, BC number 59, penalty be declined.
That's Kent Perkins out at the tackle spot, but just looking at Tyler Packer out of the University of Calgary, the folks watching in Calgary, watching their Stampeders would know him well, and Michael Couture going down has a bit of a back issue. Doesn't look like it'll be long term, but this first start for him, and you wonder about snaps and shotgun and all those things, been solid in the first half.
Penalty declined. Adams, far side of the field, heaves one up and defended that time by DeMario Houston as they were looking for McInnes again at the end of the half, but Houston had other thoughts.
Another hit on Vernon Adams. Trying to throw this up. Maybe if he gets the penalty call, it was just sort of his own guy getting pushed into him.
Vernon Adams with 112 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's with Farhan Lalji.
Vernon, the first 3 drives, their blitz seemed to really get through a lot. How were you able to adjust as the half went on?
Yeah, I got to help us out, get us into a protection check, and help this team out. You know, I see the blitz, got to call something else.
Talk about that last touchdown pass. You took a big hit to make that play.
Yeah, you know, they brought cover 0 again. We protected it. You know, it's part of the game. You put it up there, football gods will bless you.
All right, thanks for this.
Thanks, God bless, go line.
All right, let's send it to the panel. Here's Kate.
All right, a very entertaining first half between the Calgary Stampeders and the BC Lions. Lions currently on top. Back alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel. And let's follow up with that Vernon Adams interview there that Farhan did, because before this game even began, we said the one thing that has to change is the O-line for the BC Lions after what we saw against the Toronto Argonauts last week. Lo and behold, the Stamps come out. They are blitzing right away. They're trying to get to VA. But, Matt, let's just go through that second last drive where he had that glorious pass to Hollins, and he took a huge shot, but he's making those plays still.
Yeah, he is. And he talked about it with Farhan. Very simple. Cover 0, you just buy your time, backpedal, create a little bit more time, and then deliver the football and take the shot, and good things will happen. And they did for VA in that play. But look, they've had to overcome some heat in the first half, now, what you've seen, because they've got a change up front and Packers in for Couture, and he got Schuliger in there for Neville. And to me, this is where the Calgary Stampeders were taking their attention and just driving hard at that, and they got to VA until he broke out.
And just to talk a little bit more about that last touchdown by Vernon Adams, it was a great catch by Alexander Hollins, but that was all Vernon Adams. And you know this, Matt, to stand in there when you know you're about to get smacked in the ribs and throw that touchdown. Yep. Yes, that says a lot about that young man. Great play by Alexander Hollins, but you spoke on it, the pressure. First 4 plays, Calgary Stampeders said, we're going to test you. We saw what happened last week against the Argos. We're going to bring that pressure and see if you guys could pick it up. And early on, they were frustrated. Vernon Adams couldn't figure it out because he was getting pressured so well. But then he said, okay, I'm going to use my legs a little bit. I'm going to run around a little bit and see if that will cause some problems. So that definitely slowed them down. It allowed them to start running the ball some more. But they know they're going to have to come out in this second half and pick up that pressure again, because I promise you, the Calgary Stampeders will once again bring that pressure and see if this BC Lion offensive line can handle it.
What did VA say in that touchdown you showed VA, and Farhan asked him about that? He said, you stand in there, you get it out, you get up to your playmaker, and the football gods will bless you. I think what he means is if you take a hit, you get rewarded. He stood there and did that. The answers, and we talked about before the game, we knew that was going to be it, the pressure from the Stamps, but they don't normally bring a ton of pressure. They decided to bring pressure. Here were the answers. This is the first play of the second drive. What do we see from BC? We can't cover this. We can't block this. What are we going to do? We get the ball out real quick. This is just a quick screen. Try to answer, try to get them going east and west a bit, try to get that pressure slowed down. And later on, we saw a slant. This right here, you watch, look at Stan back here. Why does he run a quick out route? It's to get that linebacker out of there so he can open up the inside for this slant. Again, get rid of the pressure. They know the middle of the field will be open. They can get that backer out there. So you saw a few things they've dialed up to try to help alleviate that pressure. There's 2 ways that you can handle pressure if you're this BC Lions offensive front. You say, okay, we're good enough. We can block you one-on-one and execute. Or we got a scheme, and Jordan McSimon looked at the first few drives and said, We got to scheme in order to beat this.
And scheming means they added another guy in to help chip and protect VA and buy him a little more time.
Or quicks.
And of course, VA is known as big play VA for a reason. He made some things happen there in that first half with his legs.
You know what? Credit to the BC Lions defense, too, because they've really kept this Calgary offense in check. But for Jake Mayer, look, he had a really great game a week ago, a very efficient game. He's been efficient again tonight. He's 12 of 15. He's got the 1 TD. He does have the INT, but overall a very decent first half.
Yeah, and more of what we saw in week 1, like you say, Kate, a quarterback that's come in here and played with a lot of poise. He did exactly what he needed to do on the road, is to take these 50,000 plus people right out of the game, and he did that. That throw to Mark and Michelle, won't see a better one this year. I guarantee you won't see it better than this year. You talk about scheming, well, they scheme right there. It's just a simple rub route, run the 2 guys off, run Mark underneath. That's an easy pitch and catch. But then, this time, this throw right here to Mark and Michelle behind him cost him 4 points. He gets out that out in front. They go ahead by a touchdown and not a field goal, and the game's got a different complexion to it. So Jake's had his moments. Although he's 12 of 15, he's going to want some of those plays back, and that's just football.
If I'm the Stamps now and I'm seeing what we saw, you have Brandon Dozier one-on-one down the field, who's a safety against Alex Holland. I don't like that matchup. So if you're Brent Monson, who I think is one of the better coordinators in this league, you like the pressure. We all agreed. Let's challenge this BC front offensive line. But I don't want one-on-one down the field with my safety against their best receiver.
But are those DBs good enough to sit back there and zone or just normal man against these receivers? I think that's the problem. I think he understands that, and that's why he's going to apply that pressure. And he'd rather challenge that offensive line than his DBs be challenged by these receivers.
I'm not using Dozier in that way. I'm not making him cover. I'm bringing him. I'm getting him in the mix. I'm letting my other guys cover, but he's much better in between the tackles.
I'm not making any changes in the second half. A very entertaining first half. Hopefully, same in store for the next half. You know, the great part was, too, so the 50 Cent concert was packed, and these people are all still here. We've got a huge Sunday matchup between Hamilton and Sass. We'll see that up next. Week 2 in the CFL wraps up tomorrow night. A great clash between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. By the way, I'm allowed 2 picks on anytime touchdown scores. I'm taking Sean Bain, and then I'm taking Sean Bain again. Well, I wasn't around week 1, so that makes sense, doesn't it? And meanwhile, too, the Tiger Cats honoring the 99 Grey Cup winning team. That was when Hamilton defeated Calgary 32-21. Ironically, in this building, BC Place, the attendance for that game was 45,000 people. Today, 53,788. So tell me that the CFL isn't growing, and I give you those numbers. Now, Ches, when we mentioned that team right away, you're like, oh yeah, I know them pretty well because they beat me.
Yeah, that was my kind of welcome to the CFL moment of my rookie year. And I'll say about that team and those guys, that felt like the last of a dying breed. Those guys, it was Hitchcock and Morielli and Danny McManus and Andrew Grigg. Anyway, those guys, Jeff Cummins on that team. Anyway, that was a great group of guys. But kind of last time I saw a group of guys like that kind of on the field, off the field, just a bunch of characters, but a great team.
Hey, and just to throw out a few other names, because I know you can't name them all. I'm going to pick up and where you left off. Gerald Vaughn, Calvin Tiggle, Ron Lancaster, coach of that football team. Andrew Grigg, one of my all-time favorite receivers in the CFL. I'm telling you, Ron Williams over 1,000 yards that season. That team was stacked, and if they didn't win the Grey Cup, Danny Mack and I got to talk. I saw him the other night in Ottawa, and he hadn't changed. He was icing from the inside out then, and he's icing from the inside out now, Milt.
39-9, 65-15, and 43-16. That's what they beat me and my Bombers.
Oh, wow.
3 games. and my good buddy, Big Swole, Joe Mumford, Hall of Famer, rubbed it in. And after they won the Grey Cup, he really rubbed it in. So that's what I remember about their team. I just talked about they had some characters. One of my best friends to this day, Joe Mumford, was on that team, and he still talks about that team to this day.
Let's add Orlando Steinauer as well. We forgot about him. Yeah.
You guys are going to get tweets from everyone you didn't mention, by the way.
Coulter, a bunch of guys.
I feel like that was like salt on the wound for all of
icons. You know, you got to mention them.
Well, Saskatchewan looking to spoil the party, but it should be a good one to wrap up week number 2. Meanwhile, we still have a game to finish here in BC. Currently 14-10. Let's just watch Ches and Milt dance to 50 Cent all night, shall we? Dustin in suits after this.
Second half action coming up. BC Lions on top 14-10. And a strong second quarter from the BC Lions. Jake Maier's been pretty good so far in this ball game. 151 yards and a touchdown, and he's with Farhan Lalji.
Jake, you completed 11 of your first 12 passes in that first half. Generally, that would lead to more points, but you've had tough field position. How tough has it been to navigate long fields?
Yeah, no, we just got to keep generating first downs, staying out of second and long. They're elite in second and long, man. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league at that, so we just got to be better on first down.
Overall, just how would you assess your play?
I think we're doing fine. I really do. I think we're in a dogfight on the road. Man, if this is our first taste of adversity in 2024, I think we're doing okay. On the road, 4-point game. Let's see how we respond.
Thanks for this.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Dustin, we'll send it to you.
He feels pretty fired up there, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're in hostile territory, to say the least. You're fighting crowd noise. It's a one-possession game on the road to start the second half. Yeah, I would say they're doing really well and distributing the ball in a lot of different ways, different looks from the offense. Nice throw that Matty broke down at halftime on that inside route by Mark and Michelle for the touchdown.
Jake has completed passes to 6 different receivers. Vernon Adams on the other side has only completed passes to Hollins, McInnes, and then 1 to Javon Cotoy.
Just went up to Reggie Beggleton, who does not have a catch in this game.
Doesn't have a target in this game.
And I think he just walked up and said, yeah, we're going to get you. We're going to get to you in the second half.
Probably not a bad idea.
It's
probably not a bad idea.
Great idea.
As this is kicked away, and Brooks will grab it. Brooks puts on the brakes. Nice tackle down the field by Adam Konar. And that is where Calgary will start with the ball.
That was risky. I think it was Brooks who had the call because he pointed to himself after. Now, one returner will have the call. He'll either say me, 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 or you. And it looked like they had a little bit of a communication issue and bumped into each other. That one hits the turf. It's been a tough way to start, but they hung on.
Officially 53,788 fans in attendance tonight. Sets a new home opener record for the BC Lions. You got to go back 40 years to 1984. 43,501 at that game. Out of the backfield, it's to Mills. Decent pickup on first down.
Yeah, that's what we mean about all the targets, and that's getting Dedrick Mills. You see him on the checkdowns quite often, but he goes out there and runs a route here. Down the field, about 10 yards, and then just curls it out.
That's his 3rd catch of the ball game. Stays in there to the left of Jake Maier. 2nd and 3. Eccles, flyer up the flat. That's where they'll go to him. First catch of the game for Eccles. Goes for a nice chunk. 3 catches last week for 40 yards and a touchdown. And there's a fresh face in the second half for Calgary.
You know, when I saw that play and the way that Eccles bellied back the way he did, it was almost to me like, you know, he can throw it from here. Watch how he bellies back here. If that ball is thrown behind Jake Maier, he can reload it and throw it down the field.
That would have been quite the play call there, wouldn't it?
Maybe we'll see it before this one's over.
Eccles flying in behind his quarterback again. This time they'll hand it off. And the push ahead for 3 yards on first down. Back to Mills.
Great one-hander. You mentioned the game he had last week. Open up the season. How about this? Making your debut against the Hamilton Tiger Cats and going up and just ripping it down with one hand. Nice.
Real nice catch. I think you settle in quickly when you do something like that in your first game. 2nd and 6. Air. Nice. Got that to Marcus Michelle. He was right near the first down marker. Looks like going to mark him a yard shy.
Well, based on the down and distance, and just that this is Eccles who made a nice inside move, but I think Jake Mayer he thought he had something, but Jake Mayer had other ideas because he knew where the marker was and he wanted to get Mark and Michelle right at it. I thought he put it right on him there. It was a good decision.
Tommy Stevens into the game. Quick note.
who tweeted us directly after the game. I think you called him a lineman and he was not happy.
Yeah, you said he's 260. I said he's like a slimmer offensive lineman. And then he tweeted us a picture of his scale, and he's about, I think, 246.
Yes.
So everything's corrected.
Yeah.
He's less than 250 pounds, and he's an athletic quarterback.
Yeah, I got the white out and got my chart together and put 246 in there, and he was having fun with it, of course.
Oh yeah, it was good.
But it was good. And by the way, I said he would be my fantasy short yardage guy because of, you kind of left that part out.
Yeah. Well, he gets the job done here again, as he does most times. Picks up the first down for the Stampeders, gets Jake Mayer and the offense back out there. 15 touchdowns the last 2 years for Stevens. Woods on the tackle. BJ Evans didn't like it. That's Patrice Rene on the tackle.
Yeah, Rene, good speed to close on that. I mean, again, this is a young group. I mean, this is a young group when you think that Deontay Evans out of the secondary and Woods just in his 4th year, but really just second getting serious playing time. And Patrice Rene, again, trying to come together and gel. That was speed to the tackle.
4 options out to the wide side left for Mayer. Looks that way first. Now he's going to throw it to Mills. Mills hauls it in at 30. Down to the 20, to the 10. Will they catch him? They do. They'll trip him up just shy of the 5. He was that close to a house call. 52 yards to Mills.
Well, they got a good matchup. Calgary did, and the matchup that they wanted. I think Ben Haladic can cover, and he can definitely run, but he gets caught underneath, going underneath Cam Eccles. So a little bit of a rub there from Eccles coming on that quick slant. That forces Ben Haladic to belly underneath, and Mills gets in behind him.
Stampeders looking to get the lead back. They'll go to Mills, and he is stopped immediately. Ronald Kent, his first game in on the tackle.
Just one more time to show you Cam Eccles and how you have to really sell that. And this is a low version of it where he's coming in and then the back out of the backfield doesn't go to the flat for a check down. He runs what's called a wheel route out to the outside and then right down the sideline. And Haladic, he can run with him. He just got caught on that inside rub.
I think we saw what Ryan Phillips thought of it there. 2nd and goal from the Lions 6 for the Stampeders. There, fakes to his right, now throws to the corner, far side, going up and getting it, Reggie Begelton. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Begelton hauls it in. His first catch of the ball game comes in spectacular fashion, and the Stampeders go back on top.
How about that? Jake Mayer coming out of the half, goes right over to his star receiver, Reggie Begelton, and he gives him the hand pumps and says, hey, I'm coming to you in this second half. We're going to get you involved in this offense. You see just to the right of your screen, Begelton gets a nice waggle so that he can get outside. It's well covered. I believe that was Patrice Ray that was in coverage, but well covered. It just, Begelton went up and contorted that body backwards to get it.
Reggie Begelton with one of the best looking 6-yard catches you're going to see.
That's it.
9-play, 84-yard drive finished by this Reggie Begelton. Woo! Oh, that's how you make an impact on a ball game. Wow.
Here's Begelton, that number 3 receiver. Watch the waggle here and then getting out to that corner route. He's going to be working one-on-one. He gets jammed right there. Now that's legal. That's a legal jam right inside of the 5-yard zone. Pretty good coverage by Rene, but watch this catch. That's an OMG catch right there. I mean, that's, and get your hand underneath it as the ball is hitting the turf. So the ball doesn't hit the turf, your hand does.
Unreal stuff from Reggie Begelton. Oh, Williams on the return.
Whoa.
Took a pretty big blow from Malcolm Thompson. Reggie Begelton, pretty impressive. Almost as impressive as your squiggly line on that replay. I liked it. Welcome back to Vancouver. 50 Cent, not the only celebrity in the house tonight. There is Owen Wilson.
Hanging out in the owner's box. That's Amar Doman.
I saw him pop up. All I could think of was
Marley and Me. No.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Celebrities everywhere.
It's not good. It's not good. I'll stop. VA. Far side. Almost the first down. Hollins again. His 6th catch of the ball game.
Yeah, with the amount of times that Vernon Adams is targeting Alexander Hollins, you almost think that Brent Monson, if he's going to play a zone or a different look, he might want to rotate his coverage towards that side.
2nd and inches here for VA. Needs just a little bit. Pushing ahead. And he will have it. Let's send it down to Farhan for more on VA in the short yardage game.
Yeah, a lot of consternation around VA taking short yardage duties and taking a bunch of extra hits, 5 short yardage ones, plus the fumble in the Toronto game. And I asked Rick Campbell about it. He says, why does every NFL quarterback handle short yardage duties, but here we have to go the other way? Now, he doesn't want to be hard-headed about it. You know, there are going to be some moments where Jake Dolegala comes in a traditional short yardage unit, but there they went with their regular offense. They were able to go fast, and VA wants to do it.
Oh, and he got the job done that time.
Well, okay, and I get it, and, you know, Rick Campbell's right. I mean, other quarterbacks do it, other star quarterbacks do it, and if he wants to do it, I get it. They're all on the same page on it. However, I hate it. No, I do. I mean, I hate it. I just, you got 3 quarterbacks dressed. One of them can be your short yardage guy, unless you're trying to quick count it. In other words, you know, get out of the huddle immediately, get to the line of scrimmage and try and catch the defense offside. That's one thing, but it's just extra hits your starter doesn't need to take.
2nd and 9, 5-man pressure. VA down the field, over the middle. He's got McKinnis again inside the 40, and McKinnis turns it the other way, down to the 30 before he's finally taken down. What a play after the catch from Justin McKinnis.
Sky's the limit for Justin McKinnis. Really is. We've talked many, many times about his great hands, and how about this throw, falling away from it, kind of leaning back on this throw and throwing a dart down the middle. Little cut back, yards after the catch. Get your teammates excited.
91 yards after 37 on this.
Remember, Roberson was injured, came back in, and he was in coverage on that play. It looked like he's not at full speed.
Great play by McKinnis. Injured BC Lion down on the field. We'll be back.
Lions injured player looked like it's Javon Catoy. He's a receiver right here. non-contact injury. Looks like he just maybe hamstring. He's up at the top. He's not the target. Kind of grabs that left leg.
First and 10 from the Calgary 27. Adams, that one up in the air, comes right back to VA, and he's got it. He takes it down inside the 25. A fortunate bounce back into the arms of number 3.
Well, we saw in the first half Ben Haladic catch a tip that went off the hands of Dedrick Mills, and this one batted at the line of scrimmage. VA had it locked in.
I know the stats guys below us are losing their mind right now.
A throw.
Put that one in the system.
A throw and a catch by the same guy.
Probably not a shortcut for that one. VA again looking down towards the end zone, lays it open. Tried to drop it in to Travis Fulgham, but Fulgham couldn't come up with it. Double coverage in the corner.
Boy, Travis Fulgham, who had it's like another injured DB who had a touchdown in week 1. And this is a guy who likes to make an entrance. His first game in the NFL, a touchdown catch. His first game in the CFL, a touchdown catch. That was last week in Toronto, and very close to getting back-to-back TD catches.
It's Bentley Sanders who is down. Roberson, who had already been banged up a little bit earlier in the game, in on the play as well.
A great throw to drop it right there. Just off the hands. It's a tough catch to make with DBs all over your back, but
Sanders is fine. Walking off the field. Sean White called into duty with a 30-yarder. White has hit 19 in a row going back to last season. His first field goal attempt of the evening. To tie the game at 17, Sean White puts it up and knocks it through. It's 20 in a row for Sean White as he uses the magic stick to tie this game at 17 apiece. As automatic as they come around the Canadian Football League. We got 2 of those guys here tonight, Paredes and White. Deadlocked midway through the third. Welcome back to Vancouver, where we are tied at 17. Vernon Adams putting together a pretty decent first half, couple of touchdowns, 112 yards as well for VA, and one of the interesting matchups that he's facing. Well, let's send it down to Farham for more on that.
Yeah, Vernon Adams and Calgary defensive coordinator Brent Monson certainly have a mutual respect for one another, and VA has had plenty of success against Monson's defenses since he became the coordinator in Calgary in 2019. His first big season in Montreal back in 19. It was he was 2-0 against Calgary, and in this last 5 games that he started and finished here with the Lions, he's won 4 of those, and Monson is well aware of that. In fact, when I posted that Monson or that VA was going to play in this game, Monson actually applauded because he definitely wants that matchup. And the thing that he said is that VA has had such a great ability against us to extend plays, and that his receivers have made contested catches for him. From VA's perspective, he just knows that they're going to bring so many different exotic pressures. He just wants to be able to identify them quickly, get to his hot targets, or find the mismatch. But he also knows he's had success against Monson's defenses in Calgary. We'll see if that continues here.
Deadlocked at 17.
It's going to factor in here at some point, isn't it?
So, you know, it's the under so far, I would think, and I only bring it up because these defenses have given quarterbacks, they're making them work for it, let's put it that way.
2nd and 5 from the Calgary 45 for Jake Mayer. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, pressure up the middle, takes off, flush out of the pocket on the run, drops it over. Eccles hauls it in. He was working against Gary Peters, and he managed to free himself up for a first down grab.
Yeah, I think this is a case of Jake Maier throwing Eccles open. The defender was on the outside shoulder, and he, on the run, with a real accurate throw, is going to lead him back to the opposite shoulder. See how the defender's out in front, so he throws it to that back side shoulder with the guy bearing down on him.
But there's Jake making a play on the run.
On the run again. Yep.
Down to the BC 53. 1st and 10. Maier, pressure in his face again, dumps it off underneath to Mills, and he is tied up and taken down immediately by Covington.
Well, it looked like they were making that one up as they went along there. A little early pressure coming pretty quickly from Pete. Robertson's going to slide into the middle, and then a little underhand toss. Now that's a forward pass. It goes down as a forward pass and completion, even if it's underhand, as long as it goes forward. That's like the old Peter option. Ride the dive and then
throwing that ball into traffic always scares me.
Pitch it out to that second tailback.
14 touches already in this game for Mills. Maier, lots of pressure over the top, trying to one-handed, could not haul it in, and that will fall incomplete. That's the return man, Eric Brooks, getting into the offense here. 3rd and 3.
And Eric Brooks has got some speed now, and he heads out. This is a tough one to cover for any DB or linebacker. You got a full sprint going all the way across the field. If he catches that pass, he's got the corner and he can fly.
You think it's a little bit behind him because he's got that speed?
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what it was, right?
There's not as much chemistry with him in the offense, but he can go.
3rd and 3, and the offense stays out on the field from the BC 46.
Maybe just trying to draw an offside.
Oh, they're going to snap it. They're going to go for it. Maier near side, and he's got a man. It's Philpott. Cuts it back inside. Flag down at the 25, and it looks as though it's on Brooks because he's got his hands in the air. Would have been a huge 3rd down play for the Calgary Stampeders.
We've seen from both these teams a couple of rub looks, and I mentioned that
blocking
off the top.
downfield before the pass was caught. Calgary number 87, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
This would be a block and contact down the field before the throw. That's what I thought that was a straight pick, and that they called it a block before the ball was caught, but that's just a straight pick. Illegal play comes off the board. That's why, remember early on for the touchdown by Mark and Michelle, how Reggie Bagleton went out like he was going to block, but then didn't?
Yeah.
You got to really sell that.
Grace, end over end kick. Williams takes it cleanly at the 17. Broke one tackle, takes it back out to about the 30-yard line with 2:32 on the clock at BC Place on a Saturday night. Just over a quarter remaining. What do you think this comes down to here? So tied at 17. It's going to be special teams. It's going to be a defensive play.
Who gets the ball last?
Yeah, good. I like those types of games. Adams, 4 receivers out to his right. Takes off up the middle, now throws it, and that is complete just outside the 35 to the fullback, David Mackey.
Get a manageable, good production on 1st down, whether it's a run play. We've talked about that quite often, that you can get the run game going. That gives you a manageable 2nd down situation, and that's what VA has now. A quiet game for Mike Rose. We've usually talked about him a few times.
First time you mentioned his name. He might have something up his sleeve here as we work towards quarter number 4. Adams, Dozier kind of fell, got turned around, and McInnes could never make a play on it.
What a recovery. That's a big time recovery because, yeah, he got all locked up when he tried to break back into that throwing lane and tripped. But he stuck with it, got up, and got his hands on it. See Dozier try to open up back into the middle. He trips and still gets his hand on it.
Flintoff's kick sends Brooks to the far side of the field. Takes it at around the 25. And he is taken down immediately. Patrice Rene down the field to wrap him up.
Both these cover teams, Dustin, tonight have played very well. I mean, these are good returners. Every team has a good returner. And that's why it's so important.
No sniff in the return game tonight, really.
Not tonight. And remember, Terry Williams plays for the Lions. Boy, he can get it done. And Eric Brooks, a newcomer to the lineup, but mentioned
he
his
impressed
great
us a couple
speed.
times last week, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Jake Mayer starts this drive on his own 30, looking to retake the lead. He'll start it on the ground, and a big one breaking here for Mills. All the way out to the 46 before he stopped. That's his best run of the night.
Right down Main Street. Just need to get a chip. Just give him a little bit of a crease. Like a good down block by Sean McEwen, the center, an outstanding lineman nominee a year ago for the Stamps.
Ugumba with the tackle for BC. 1st and 10 from the Calgary 46. The visitors trying to open the season 2-0. This is dropped in at the 50 to Clark Barnes. And Clark Barnes has his first catch of the ball game, and it's a big one here late in the 3rd.
These are long developing crossing routes, so Jake Mayer's got to sell the fake here. It's going to be play action fake, and he's going to sell it big time and then step in there and just lay it out so that Clark Barnes can go and run underneath it. Crossing routes from the right side of the formation all the way across to the left. Again, tough one to cover when you're a man.
Jake Mayer, 80% passing last week. He's 20 of 24 right now for 267 yards. And we are nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Final play right here. Evans back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe not even, as he got wrapped up quickly on the play there by Josh Archibald. 3rd quarter in the books. All dead even right where we started. BC Lions, Calgary Stampeders settle in for an excellent 4th quarter here as the CFL on TSN continues. Well, it's dead even. 17-17 after 3 quarters. Did I hear you try an Owen Wilson wow when you heard the time of possession for Calgary?
Yeah,
at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that's Jake Mayer, and Jake Mayer's he's stacking games now. A good clean game. He did throw the one pick that was tipped off the hand of Dedrick Mills, but another good football game, using all the weapons in his offense and really keeping 54,000 people relatively quiet throughout this game. And that's what you want to do when you get on the road.
This has been a fun night in Vancouver.
And they have been loud at times, don't get me wrong.
Anyone's game as we get set to snap the ball and begin quarter number 4. Thank you very much for joining us with 53,000, almost 54,000 of our friends here at BC Place. And is that Demery again?
Procedure, Calgary number 60.
It was
5-yard penalty.
Demery
Remains
again.
2nd down.
2nd time he's been caught on the procedure tonight.
Well, whether it's been Pete Robertson or Sione Tehama down low here, they have been going with real speed rushes around the corner, and it's got Demery on his heels a little bit. That's the 2nd one for him in this game.
2nd and 16. Crowd here at BC Place. Low snap. Mayer picks it up, bobbles it now. Still laying there, and finally Mills is able to reach out and gather it in. Sloppy play there, but they get away with it.
Now, do you give up a point if this ball goes in the end zone with a quarter to go in a tie game? Are you going to give Calgary the lead? Start thinking ahead, coach. You got to think ahead. Play ahead.
Mills is lucky he was able to get on top of this one.
Yeah, low snap. That just goes on the blooper reel and disappears till Christmas.
Grace hammers it away. Williams waits, no decision to be made. He takes it at the 5 after a 43-yard kick, and once again, no breathing room for Terry Williams on the return.
Now, the covered teams have been outstanding tonight for both teams.
During the return, holding, BC 38, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The soccer action of the summer continues. All right, so this is backed up a little bit further as well. And the good news for VA, he's got the whole field to work with. Bad news, he's going to be taking this ball in his own end zone here. Calgary brings 4. VA near sideline. Holland goes back for it. Tippy-toe along the sideline. And he's got it. Calgary Stampeders disagree.
It's like Vernon Adams trying to get the guys to get to the line of scrimmage and call a play here. I'm not sure what he saw on this throw and catch, but
gets it away quickly. Goes right over the middle, but it's batted away from Fulgham. Take another look at this Holland's sideline work.
Well, and now because of the quick snap, it can't be challenged. I think he. I don't know. Tough to see from that angle because we're behind him too. Rule to catch. I don't see anything that would overturn it. Although from behind it looked like he might have been out.
I look like he might have. Look at how you said it. But maybe. 2nd and 10. Low snap, flag as VA reached down to get it.
Well, I think that's what Vernon Adams saw. That's why he wanted to call the play on the line of scrimmage.
BC number 69, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Terrell Broxton, the left tackle on the other side of the ball game here. 2nd and 15.
One of my favorite plays in these scenarios is to go screen. Depending on what Calgary does defensively, if you drop, you might get a pocket for your tailback. If you play man, you might be able to run by your defender.
3-man front for the Stampeders here. That's all they'll bring. Adams still out of the pocket on the run to his right, down the field, going back to get it. Trying to get underneath. It's Hollins again. He's saying, I got it again. And they're going to say that he does.
A catch, got his hands underneath, and that's 2 gutsy calls by the officials right in front of the Calgary bench and making these very, very close calls. I think they got it right. He got his hands under there.
Stanback now gets one block, takes it ahead, and it'll be 2nd and short for the Lions on a drive that started on their own 3.
Tie ball game too. You know, both coaches are going to be extra consideration for when they want to challenge. Tie ball game, you might need it later on.
3 receivers to the wide side right for Adams. Turns, Stanback needs a couple, got a couple. First down, BC. 10th carry of the ball game for Stanback, averaging 4.6 yards per carry.
Wonder if he shows the guys his Grey Cup ring.
You get them a little fired up once at a time, every once in a while.
It's what we're after, guys.
Up to the 50. PA down the field, trying to drop it in there, down to the 15. They got it. Eberhardt bounces back up, trying to take it to the end zone, and he stops just short. Aiden Eberhardt, 59 yards on a big strike from Vernon Adams Jr.
Eberhardt, he's going to have to track this football down. The ball is put out there in front of him, and what a sell job by Vernon Adams. I mean, he goes out there and pump fakes to McGinnis and then goes deep.
VA looking to push it in, and he does. Touchdown BC. Vernon Adams Jr. finishes the job.
What a play by Vernon Adams to fake it to McGinnis on the push route, go deep to Eberhardt. Just double check here to make sure that Vernon Adams has crossed the plane. No question about it. Ball across the goal line.
Aiden!
I like that.
Aiden, what?
Talking to his receiver. He tracked it down.
And that is blocked. Sean White has this one blocked. And that'll be picked up by Kobe Williams on the far side of the field. Taken down immediately. Second extra point. Blocked or deflected by Calgary. I said they had
Major
the whole
foul,
field to work with.
Horse collar tackle. BC number 0. That 15-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
7 plays, 107 yards for the touchdown. Looking to add on one more. And that one blocked by Wouters.
Oh, that's our second block, bro. That's our second block kick. What are we doing here?
Not happy. That's a couple of points left hanging out there right now. 2 converts blocked by the Calgary Stampeders.
One of the leaders just trying to make everyone accountable. Still thanking his receiver for going and getting that touchdown or the deep ball.
6-point ball game. Brooks takes it at the 21. Out to the 40. One move. Spin move at the 45. That one will not work. Konar with the tackle. Eberhardt's huge catch set up the touchdown for Vernon Adams. That's a nice one. Jake Mayer 20-24, 267 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and using his feet to get the job done.
Yeah, and we didn't see a lot of this last year. I mean, whether it's negotiating the pocket here and there, that little underhand toss, and then the throwing on the dead run. I mean, it can open up your playbook even more when your quarterback will move his launch point right or left and be able to keep a play alive.
41 of 50 to start the season. 82% is how Jake Mayer has come out of the gate here in 2024. Got 3 receivers to his left, 1 way out to his right. Wide open is Philpott. He'll get him at midfield, and Philpott bounces off of Gary Peters, and that ricochet is going to be enough for a first down for Calgary.
A soft spot in his own defense, and that's not Gary Peters, the veteran, getting beat. He had a deeper zone, and that's a soft spot. In every defense, every zone defense you play, there is a hole somewhere. Can the quarterback find it is the question. He did on that one.
22 yards away from a 300-yard game is Jake Mayer. Eccles this time, and a flag as well as Woods takes down Jake after he throws that ball.
Is that a low hit?
Oh, is this a hold?
Holding. Calgary number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Thought the timing on the hit from Woods was good. There at right guard is Zach Williams. Oh yeah, up around the chin and the takedown.
Boy, Woods still pushed his way through there, didn't he?
And that's right in front of that back judge.
Not going to get away with that one, I guess.
The official back there, yeah, the head official.
1st and 20 for Calgary. Just 3-man pressure this time. Mayer down the field, near side, looking for Philpott. And it was broken up. Rugamba was all over him.
Well, you know what the big play here from Rugamba is that he brings both arms around on Philpott. Philpott's going to run a corner, and so he heads to the corner here, and now the ball's thrown out there. Watch Rugamba. Rather than have the right hand around his waist, see that all the time, and try to knock it down with the left hand, he brings the right hand all the way over to get to the ball. That was good closing speed, and it takes away any thought of pass interference.
Excellent play by Rugamba, who's a guy that they can move around this BC Lions defense. Versatile piece for Ryan Phillips. 6 with the pressure. Mayer escapes, takes his time, tries to dump it off. Philpott's got it, came up with it, turned it back upfield. Won't get the 20, but they did get a pretty good chunk. 3rd down and about 4 yards here, 5 yards maybe.
How did Jake Mayer get out of that one? Because that was full pressure from the Lions. One escape lane to his left between guard and tackle. That's the B gap. There's the A gap, center guard. The B gap, guard tackle. Outside the tackle, the C gap. We try to keep it, you know, pretty rudimentary.
I was going to say.
Nice and simple.
ABC, I got it.
Yeah, and they're strong and weak.
They're going for it, 3rd and 6. They went 3rd and 4 earlier, got it, but it was called back on a penalty. Mayer on the run to his right, throws it. He's got Barnes, but he drops it off the fingertips of Clark Barnes. Oh, a big one there. Missed by the Calgary Stampeders. Let's get another look at it as we head to break. Mayer lays it out there. Oh, tough one for Barnes. That's a little tease for next year's home opener for Amar Doman. I wouldn't put it past him.
No.
1st and 10. BC 48. VA fakes the handoff. Lays it out there for Fulgham. Couldn't get back to it, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And you know that Vernon Adams will take the responsibility for that, but I think, you know, Travis Fulgham here can help him a little bit by finding that soft spot outside. Quarterbacks will often, when they miss one, look at their feet. It's all tied in.
Seems like a very difficult position to play. Look at the pressure in his face this time. Gets it away. That was gunned in there right through the hands of Fulgham. There's a flag at the 50 on the far side of the field. Let's wait and see what this is. Be against BC.
Offside. BC number 18. That penalty be declined. 3rd down.
Well, I think someone from the Calgary offense blitzed on that one. There were so many. That was a full-on blitz. There's when you send 5, 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's one more coming over here. No, there was 8.
So 6.5 minutes. Calgary going to get the ball back with a ton of time. Brooks from the 13, flag on a short return after a 49-yard kick. Great job continues for both special teams units tonight. Cover teams have been great.
When I saw that flag, I looked at the players that were around it.
During the return, holding Calgary number 83.
And Tyson Middlemost was really making an argument with the official. You can often find the guy that drew the flag. That's the gunner, Patrice Rene, and there's the takedown. And he turned right around. He saw the flag. He turned and he was pleading his case to the official. You can always tell the guilty party.
So instead, you should just put your head down and run away and try to hide.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Let's go.
There's no penalty there. Back to the sideline. This backs him up, Jake Mayer. And this drive starts on the Calgary 7th. Wide side of the field. Drops it in there. Right back to Barnes. And this time, sure hands hauls it in.
Well, that gives him some breathing room, and you know, nice again that we've seen a couple of throws to the wide side of the field. A couple to the wide side of the field. Good that he went back to him. Get rid of the bad thoughts, and then get some breathing room away from your own goal line.
Mayer in trouble, trying to stay on his feet. Not going to happen. Marcus Moore is there to take him down.
Big one here. Big one coming up on second down. This is just about not quitting on the play for the Lions because the protection initially was there. Looked at the check down. That was covered. And finally, about 3 or 4 receivers in that read, and he had lots of time and didn't get it out of there.
Huge 2nd and 15 for Mayer. Guns it over the middle, going down to get it just past the first down marker. Is that Reggie Begelton for a fresh set? Another big catch from Reggie.
That's a big one. And all of a sudden, very, very quiet in BC Place, and he caught that clean catch.
Just 2 catches in this ball game. That one, which was great, and his touchdown was spectacular. Multiple flags in the secondary as his first down handoff goes nowhere.
Too many players. BC. 10-yard penalty. First down.
See, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a couple guys trying to get off the field and don't in time. Different personnel groupings. Both thought they were supposed to be on the field.
Up to the Calgary 42. Just over 4 minutes to play. BC going to bring everybody. Mayer's going to heave one up, one-on-one down the field, and a flag flies. Pass interference. Cole Tucker was working there against Ronald Kent Jr. in his first start in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, I was wondering if
pass interference. BC number 21. Spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
I was wondering if Calgary was going to test him. Ronald Kent's playing for Seontae Evans. And it's been a quiet night so far for him. And that's a good thing when you're a DB. But this one, the feet get tangled up. Plus, he's got his right hand and just kind of riding along there with Tucker.
That puts the BC Lions over 100 yards in penalties in this ball game. And it puts Calgary in business at the 38. Mayer pressured again. Throws this one away as he is hit by Tehema.
Well, he knew he had all his receivers to the other side of the field. He had 4 on one side and only Clark on the other side. So he gets flush from Ben Oladik, and Tehema going from that right side, and he knows he throws it away because he knows all of his targets are too far away and on the other side, the back side of the play.
322 yards in this ball game for Jake Mayer. Does he have a few more in him now? this is going to be going down. Timeout by the BC Lions.
Timeout, BC.
Timeout by the Lions. I have to say, everybody who came out to this home opener has been thoroughly entertained tonight, Glenn.
Top to bottom. The hour before and the 3 hours within the game. Ryan Phillips will tell you what he's feeling by just looking at him. He wears his emotion on his sleeve in a big way, the defensive coordinator. And
that's one of the reasons he's had so much success, though, eh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's players coach, and I know there's a lot of definitions of that, but when they do something.
Timer, can you please reset the clock to 3:45?
When they do something good on defense, he'll celebrate with them too. Jake Mayer over 300 tonight.
2nd and 10. Crowd at BC Place trying to get behind this defense. 5-man pressure. Mayer has to lob it up. Hauled in on the far side. Ball comes out and is batted out of bounds by the BC Lions.
Heads up play by Josh Woods.
Wow.
Rather than swipe at it and try to grab the ball after the fumble, first of all, it's a great concentration by Mills just to catch this one, because there was a defender underneath it. I think it was Kent again. But now the ball's out, and that little tap is all you need in the Canadian Football League. You don't need possession. The last guy to tap it out of bounds gets possession. Heads up play by Josh Woods. Because if you go to reach for it and miss it, it rolls out of bounds. It's still Calgary's ball. That's big.
BC Lions defense making a play here, and they get the ball back with 3.5 minutes and a 6-point lead. Crowd at BC Place erupted as that ball got knocked out of bounds on the sideline. They'll give it to Stanback. Stanback taking it wide. Always there, but not before Stanback gets a big chunk on 1st down.
Remember, everything is happening in lightning speed, and for Josh Woods, again, just really getting the last 2 years, getting starts and substantial playing time. It's a heads-up play.
2nd and inches, and VA pushes it ahead. And that will take us inside 3 minutes in Vancouver. BC Lions got the ball back here. Now a chance to try to seal it away. I knew what I was doing.
Heads up.
Unreal Football on TSN continues tomorrow. The Rough Riders hit the Hamilton to face the Ticats. Tune in at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN. An intense look from Trevor Harris there. Should be a great game. Excellent way to wrap up week number 2. We're still taking care of wrapping up business here tonight in Vancouver. BC 1st and 10 from their own 39. Lead by 6. Got the ball with 2.5 to play. Stand back right in the middle. Gets about a yard. And that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
I watched Mike Alway there, and he was playing stand back.
That's it.
He was not going anywhere else. From when they broke the huddle, he was locked in to number 31, and he's the guy who made the tackle. Trying to rally him, save as much time as he can, and get the 2nd down stop.
Big play here for the Calgary defense. They are bringing everybody. Adams has time down the field. Flag on the play as it's hauled in. Justin McKinnis says he hasn't. There's a flag back by the 50. Vernon Adams heaving
illegal
one
contact. Calgary number 31. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
45 to McKinnis.
Two receivers to the short
play
side
is
of the field. They're reviewing whether or not it was a catch. Does he have control long enough? You don't have to put it right against your body to have control. It came out, but it came out, I think, after he hit the ground. And again, don't be fooled by super slow motion either. In the final 3 minutes, the review goes automatically to the command center. See how he's got it there for until his backside hits the ground. That's why it looked like he had possession, but it was moving.
When he came down, it looked like it was moving underneath him.
This is a tough one. We'll see what they say.
This is a huge call, folks. Let's get the answer.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field is overturned to an incomplete pass.
Oh boy.
We do have illegal contact, Calgary 31, which will now be applied, be a first down.
So BC does get the first down because of the penalty, but they don't get the big chunk to McInnes.
So what the command center determined there is that even though you don't have to put it under your arm, you don't have to tuck it into your body, but if it's moving in the hands, then they determined it wasn't possession.
That guy is not happy right now because of the arm fold, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's clearly.
How can you see? How can you see in that thing?
What Star Wars character is that again?
You know, I might be wrong. Star Wars people might hate me for this, but I don't think that's a Star Wars character.
Okay. They didn't have orange helmet?
No, I don't. Well, maybe. My son's watching. He's going to kill me. He would know the answer to that. He's 9. Right in his wheelhouse. 1st and 10 from the 51. Back to Stanback. Alway trying to get to him.
Oh, man.
And he'll get about 3 yards on that carry.
You watch Alway before the snap of the ball on this first down. That's back-to-back first down plays because the Lions want to grind it out. They want to get Stanback going at the end here, grind out the time. Watch him. He's just, I'm not sure whatever his responsibility, he's getting to Stanback. Now he tries to get outside him, but he's locked in. Do they send the house again?
I was just going to ask you that exact same thing.
Got Dozier and Alway up at the line.
Adams, 2nd and 7. Calgary will send 3, and that is caught. Fulgham, a big one here late. First down for the Lions.
Travis Fulgham has fought it a little bit tonight.
Calgary.
He's fought it a little bit tonight, but he works this one, and that's a great catch. For a bunch of reasons. Look at that. Behind him to the outside, he pulls it in after a couple of drops earlier in this game. Takes time off the clock. New set of downs. That's big.
Vernon Adams fired up after that catch by Fulgham.
Watch Alway. Lock in at number 7 and number 31. There it is.
From the Calgary 45. Stanback takes it ahead. And he'll get about 4 yards on that first down carry, so it'll be 2nd and 6 with 1:23 on the clock.
And who tackled him?
I'm going to guess it was Alway. Had to have been in on it.
Yeah. He and Cam Drudge were both in on it, but he is just fighting. He's fighting through the center and the guard trying to get out on him. 3 first downs in a row. Alway and Stanback.
BC looking for another first down as the clock ticks towards the final 60 seconds. Stanback trying to get away, but he will not. Held onto there by Malcolm Thompson. 3rd down. Sean White trots out.
Has had 2 blocks.
Converts blocks.
Two converts blocks. It's the same kick team, whether it's convert or field goal. So
Same unit.
It depends on how much they've talked about it on the sideline, and they're talking about it now. Listen, guys, we've got 2 of these have been blocked. The last one was by James Vaughters, got that great reach in the middle.
Timeout, BC.
39 seconds on the clock. A timeout called by the BC Lions. Field goal
Timer,
here.
can you please reset the clock to 40 seconds?
Field goal here ends it.
Puts it to bed.
Yep. Although I've seen some wild things happen in the final 3 minutes. The clock back to 40 seconds. Mike Benavides, special teams coach, I'm sure has coached him up on the sideline after a couple blocks. Well, Vernon Adams did too.
Yeah, Vernon Adams let everybody know that, hey, no more guys breaking through the line. Sean White has hit 20 in a row. Brooks waits back in the end zone. 47-yarder from Sean White to put this one out of reach. That is up, and it is good. You can take it straight to the bank with Sean White. BC goes on top 26-17.
Yeah, if you get it down and you let him kick it, he's money. I mean, he doesn't miss. Good snap, good hold. Lace is already away on the snap. And by the way, real good centers know how to twist the ball up there so that by the time it gets back there to the holder 7 yards away, the laces are where they need to be and the holder doesn't have to spin the ball. That's how precise that becomes.
How do you do that?
Oh, it's amazing.
That's a lot of practice, I think.
It's a lot of reps. You go and practice it, the center will say, tell me, to the holder, he'll say, tell me where the laces were, and he'll say 3 o'clock. And then he'll take it again and he'll adjust it. Where is it now? 10 o'clock. Where is it now? 6. Where is it now? 12, 12, 12, 12, 12.
BC. That 9-point cushion. 36 seconds on the clock. This will be booted away one more time. Brooks waits. And he takes it. A little bit of a hop there. And he takes it at the 10. And taken down just shy of the 35 on the return. And this has just been an outstanding game between 2 really good football teams.
Yeah, great night. Started by Mr. Fitty.
Oh, good work, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, 2 teams battling it out. Really good game by Jake Mayer. He's over 300 yards passing. 1 possession game until just seconds ago with the field goal from Sean White. But this has been an entertaining football game. And how about some of the catches? Megleton with a couple of big ones.
There. Taken down to a round of applause from the crowd. 4th sack of the game for the BC Lions defense. Covington gets his first as a member of his hometown team.
See Ben Alada going on the blitz. He's picked up by Dedrick Mills. Is that Covington's first?
That is his first. Aladic with the tackle there.
Local kid coming home. He's getting on the stat sheet. I think he had a couple tackles in game 1, but looking for that first sack in the CFL. And doesn't matter if it's mop-up time or not, but there's Dad Grover, who chased Matt Dunnigan around a ton.
He's happy, isn't he? Why wouldn't you be? Another handoff and 3rd down. And last first down here for the Calgary Stampeders, but that will do it. BC Lions 26-17 win at home in front of a sellout crowd at BC Place.
A lot of strategy, a lot of different adjustments had to be made by both teams. Both quarterbacks played well. We saw some great athletic catches and a one-possession game right down to the wire. Put on a show tonight.
Jake Maier, 26 of 33 for 339 yards. Couple of touchdowns as well, but it was not enough as the Calgary Stampeders fall to 1-1. BC Lions get on the board with the victory at home. Vernon Adams, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hollins with 97 yards and a touchdown. McInnes with 91 yards as the touchdown. As the BC Lions win their home opener with 50 Cent kicking the night off. The Lions take care of business. Where do you celebrate a victory? You can find them in the club tonight.
Come on in. Welcome to SportsCenter. Jermaine Franklin, Sarah Davis here with you, and we're in our own club, Duck Club SC. We're going to start things, and lots of things going on this Saturday, as you know. Of course, the U.S. Open golf. We have Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Edmonton, showing that they're ready. But we're going to start things off with the game that you just saw, Stamps and Lions. Stamps hoping to go 2-0, but not quite in the place.
Right, and the Lions looking to even up their series after they lost last week to the Argos. The Lions also have ended the Stampeders' last 2 seasons, so I think the Stamps had, you know, a little motivation there. And in front of a crowd of more than 50,000 fans, I mean, I don't know if any of these players have played a CFL game in front of a crowd like this, but of course, it was 50 Cent kicking things off after LL Cool J did it last year.
Those boys are trouble right there.
Those boys are trouble. All the fans were loving it, especially David Sanchez and Milt Stegall. Okay, to the game, Lions down 7. Vernon Adams somehow escapes the pressure and takes it for the 11-yard gain. Then later in the drive, 1st and goal, Adams rolls out and finds Justin McInnes for the touchdown. The reigning passing yards leader with his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, as the Lions would tie this one up there. Then later in the quarter, Adams Jr. going deep for Alexander Hollins, who's wide open. But, how does he not make that catch? Hollins was the team's 2nd leading receiver last season. Adam would give him a chance to redeem himself.
2-yard loss in the play. Adams in the pocket, hit as he throws, looking to the Alexander Hollins to the candy shop for 6. And the Lions
Hollins makes no mistake this time as he grabs his 1st touchdown of the season. Lions go into the break leading. In the 3rd, Jake Maier finds Reggie Bagleton in the back of the end zone for the major. Bagleton, nice. Yeah, beautiful catch. And with that catch, the Stampeders would take the lead. So next possession, Adams Jr.'s pass. It gets deflected. And who comes up with it? But Adams Jr. I guess he's doing it all himself. The Lions would end up settling there for a field goal. I think he got lucky on that. Now in the 4th, Adams Jr. rolls out, and he's going to air it deep for Aiden Eberhard, who brings it down right near, at the goal line. VA would punch it in on the next play for the major. And of course, the Lions also added a field goal. So they do go on to win their home opener in front of 50 Cent with a final score of 26-17 over the Stampeders. Adams and the Lions already have 4 passing plays of 30 or more yards this season. And last week, the Argos sacked Adams 6 times. Tonight, he wasn't sacked at all. So that makes obviously a huge difference. Well, Jake Maier went over 300 yards passing for the 10th time in his career. Now, with more on this game, let's go back to Vancouver to hear from Kate Burness and the panel.
And alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, a lot quieter now than it was a few hours ago when Fitty Stent kicked it off, and then the BC Lions deliver in front of over 53,000 fans, a rocking, sold-out crowd here at BC Place. It was an incredible day, to say the least. And Milt, I'll begin with you, because what we said about this game coming in was the fact that this team had to be a lot better, a lot more disciplined than they were a week ago. They had to give VA more protection. He was scrambling still a little bit, but overall, just such a better performance from the Lions.
Yeah, all week long we were talking about the issues they had in last week's game against Toronto, how they couldn't protect their quarterback, gave up 6 sacks, how they were turning the ball over, 5 turnovers, and how they couldn't run the ball. Stanback only had 35 yards rushing, but today it's totally opposite. No sacks, no turnovers. Stanback with almost 70 yards rushing. So they resolved those issues. Yes, they had some struggles early on because these Calgary Stampeders early on, they were going to test this BC Lion offense. They were testing them, bringing the pressure. But the BC Lion offense, they answered. Defense played well. So this was a good win. They needed to have this win. It was a great atmosphere. They had a bunch of fans here. They lose this game, you go to Winnipeg 0-2, it was going to be tough for them. But they pulled it out. VA did a great job. So this was an impressive win for these BC Lions against a good Calgary Stampeder team.
Yeah, Milt, I thought VA weathered the storm early because I think Calgary smelled blood in the water, and they tried to pressure VA, and he settled down. And I want to show you in particular the go-ahead drive in the fourth quarter, and that's how settled down he was. And several times he was simply just knifing the ball to Hollins on the sidelines, inching his way up the football field, and that was just a beautiful timing play right there. Doesn't get any better than that. And then right here, he finds him again on the run, buying time, flushed out of the pocket, sees him again. And then this is one to McGinnis. He takes his time here, lets the play develop, and just puts a dime out there to the big man. Vernon Adams settled down. Early pressure on by the Calgary Stampeders, which is expected from that football team. It's what you should do when you got a new starting center and a new left guard. Why not? Go after him. Well, VA made a play with his legs early in the first, late in the first quarter that set the tone for the rest of the ball game, I believe. And he settled down, and he treated this fan just like 50 Cent did.
You look at this offense in BC and this receiving core in particular, you kind of think, who's their guy? Who's their number one? And entering the season, we thought it was going to be Hollins. There's some question right now. Yeah. Justin McInnis, he might be their number one. And that's a good problem to have when you're not sure who your one is, that multiple guys can get it done. I'm going to look at this defense, though, because if you look at their secondary guys from last year, you got guys out, and these young guys really stepped up, because I felt like you guys did. Jake Mayer was good last week. I think he was comfortable. I think coming into tonight, I saw a lot of the same from Jake. And this BC defense, the last 5 drives of the game, they came out in the second half, they scored, Calgary did, and then they got stopped every drive since then. And I thought that was a lot to do with some of these young, Perryman, Kent. I mean, look, Evans is out there, is out. TJ Lee's hurt. They lost Cooper. And these young guys stepped up and played some great football. So starting with Justin McInnis and then this defense, young guys balling for the BC Lions, guys that maybe weren't expected to ball.
And I can't wait for this matchup now with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Now, we'd love to stay and hang out here
We're
at
not
BC.
staying?
No, because you know what? You can find us in the club. Oh, not Milt, though. He's going to go home and have water as we send it back to Sports Center.
Only water. Okay, fine. Milt is just so healthy. All right, tomorrow we've got the Ticats home opener at 7 Eastern against the Riders. Hamilton lost their opener in Calgary last week. Bo Levi Mitchell had 300 yards passing for the 38th time in his career. All right, let's shift. He led his team to their first win of the season in their home opener. New on SC, it's Vernon Adams Jr. with Farhan Lalji.
Winning points in this game came on a 108-yard drive. Take me through it and just the patience required to make that happen.
Yeah, man. First half didn't start off the way we wanted to. And, we just had to make adjustments, man. And, we got to stay on that field, go on long drives against a good team like this, man. You've seen the atmosphere today. I love playing Calgary, man. It's always a great competition. So I just want to give thanks to God, man, keeping me healthy, safe throughout the whole game, and us getting this W.
One of the adjustments was your ability to deal with their pressure. First 3 or 4 drives, they really were able to get home. Yeah. After that, it changed. What changed?
Yeah, coaches and us, we came to the sideline. We seen they were trying to heat me up, and they just said, hey, get to different protection checks, and we start keeping 7 in, and we just made some plays. God made play for me.
When you look at the second half of this game, especially the fourth quarter, you're able to get some first downs, even with a one-score lead, and Stanback was a big part of that. You guys haven't had that type of physical run game in a while when you needed to close out games. How much of a luxury is it for you?
Man, it's huge having a guy like Stan, falling forward. Yeah, he's a big help to our team, so I'm glad to have him.
Fun in this crowd?
Man, it was hella fun, man. Just all this atmosphere, it was great, man. Appreciate the fans sticking with us and everyone else.
Thanks for this.
Thank you. God bless. Go Lions.
Yeah, it was over 50,000 fans. Now, more from Vancouver. It's Justin McInnes.
Justin, with all the attention and excitement around this game and coming off a loss, how important was this win?
Oh, huge. Home opener. We knew we were going to have a big crowd. It's just 1 of 18, right? So 1 week at a time. We knew it started today. We needed this one.
VA was pressured a lot in the first quarter. He made some adjustments, and one of the guys he falls in love with is you. You get a lot of targets, and you were able to make him count.
Yeah, absolutely. VA, he told me that I was going to be on the spotlight this year, so, he's always been pushing me to be that role player, to fill in. We have Hatcher down. So, I just know he's always looking my way. He's expecting me to make a big play. Like at the end, I got to make that one for him. But, I just appreciate him always having his trust in me.
You also had Katoy that you lost in the third quarter of this game. How important was it to then have a running game with William to complement that?
Oh, huge. Like I tell Stan all the time, man, I get so excited to watch him run the ball. He just brings that different X factor to our team. And, of course, you saw him come up big there on that last drive. I'm super happy to have him here.
Thanks for this. Have fun in Winnipeg.
Thank you.
New on SC, Josh Woods and Ben Hladik.
Guys, when you look at Jake Maier's game, he completed 11 of his first 12 passes, but you guys were able to keep a lot of those catches to underneath plays. What was the key to that?
Maier's really good at getting the ball out quick and making his reads and making decisions quick, not trying to sit back there and, gamble. So I think that's part of his game, and he does well at it.
Ben, for you had the one turnover as well, and you were able to play in space a bit and limit their running game. How important was that?
Yeah, I think it was a big difference from last week, us in the run game. Our D-line went crazy today. They were eating. We wouldn't have been in those situations to stop the run without them. And sometimes you get a gift as a pick, so I'll take it when I can.
What about just the atmosphere tonight and playing in front of almost 54,000 and coming off a loss? How important was it to win and send the fans home happy?
Man, it was awesome. I love the energy. Let's keep. I know we're not gonna have 50 every week, but let's keep the energy and people coming to games. And man, getting a win, getting us back on track and being us again. I just felt like last week we didn't feel like us out there, and we got back to it today.
Thanks for this, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
New on SC, Stamps head coach Dave Dickinson.
Frustrating, Dave? Does it feel like you maybe let Sloan get away or let some points up?
We didn't execute it, so it was a hard-fought game. I'm not going to say we outplayed them, but we had our chances. We were in positions to make plays, and we weren't able to get the job done. And I'd say all three phases, things we have to clean up. It's kind of like a game two, a week two. It's not surprising. A lot of good football, a lot of big plays, but then a lot of mistakes as well, and we came out on the short end.
There were a few third down gambles kind of in that midfield range where teams tend to get aggressive and go for it. And they generally didn't work out for you guys. Just take us through.
Yeah, I think most of us will know that wasn't an OPI on the first one. But it got called, and we're in the business of accepting what's called and accepting the result of a game. So I didn't like it, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get called. Then we had to punt there. The second one, we actually had the guy, but we didn't protect what we needed, and the throw was a bit low. It's a gamble for sure. I felt like they started getting some momentum, and they were throwing the ball down the field, and I thought we had to be a little aggressive to try to get into that score zone. It didn't work out.
Yeah, you guys had, I think Jake completed 11 of his first 12 passes. In the end, a fair number of yards, but why couldn't you get into the red zone as much with that much success?
Yeah, they kind of ran him out of man. They didn't play much man, but they did stop our run. We didn't run the ball as well as we need to. Which made us be more of a drop back pass, and with the noise and the silent cadence, they were able to get some pressure as the game wore on, which I think, that's how you win football games. You win the line of scrimmage. So, I know one of our plays, unfortunately, early, we only had 11 men on the field on the 2-yard line, and so they had the extra player right there on that side. Just a miscommunication. It's a mental error, but it's a critical error.
Reggie gets 2 targets in this game. Both were big plays. Did you get the ball to him enough?
Well, we call plays and let the coverage try to work its way out. I'm sure he'd like to get more targets, and we got to look at that. We got a bye week. We can do that. I think I saw him open some, but Jake sometimes was running around. So they didn't do anything to necessarily try to take him out of the game. It's just sometimes the ball finds you, sometimes it doesn't.
How do you think Jake dealt with that pressure that comes up?
Good. He was it seemed like at least quite a few people were in the fourth quarter. He was under some heavy pressure. He moved around. I thought we handled the noise pretty good, and then in critical times jumping off sides, and I guess we got the holding call on the one. I thought they were offside, but it seemed like when we make a play and we get some momentum, something negative would happen and it would come off the board, and that's tough. It's hard to really feel good about yourself. You just keep kind of going up, but then back, and you just end up punting.
How much of that is it being early in the
And new on SC, Stamps quarterback Jake Mayer.
felt like maybe you guys left some points out there, maybe let some slip away?
Yeah, we sure did. I don't want to say let it slip away, though, because that kind of takes away from the opponent, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I thought they played a pretty clean game. I thought we had our opportunities for sure, yeah, but yeah, we just didn't make enough plays on offense. You can't score 17 points on the road and win. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we did really good, and there's just a couple minor things that just didn't allow us to finish with touchdowns there at the end. And then they made the plays at the end that they needed to. So, kudos to them.
It looks like you guys had a tough time sort of getting momentum. Like, you had some good drives there and then just stalled.
Yeah, I think, it's just a play here and there. It's the difficulty of our league, right? It's like, one bad play, and next thing you know, you're off the field. So, and it was everybody. It was just everybody. Just every now and then, you felt that stall out. And I thought they did a really good job of giving us really long fields too. I think that's really hard in this league too. If you're going to play long field football, and they played a lot of zone tonight, so kept everything in front of them. And I think that's just, again, kudos to them, man. They had a good game plan, and we just didn't execute well enough.